Chapter 1471. The earth would still rotate without anyone. The 4 seasons would still change. It wouldn't change because of anyone's departure. Everything would remain the same. Humans were the same. In their lifetime, they would face countless gatherings and separations. If there was a gathering, there would be a parting. There was a saying, "All good things must come to an end." Everyone would leave one day. Even if it was their parents and children, a golden boy and a jade girl, no one could stay together forever. There would always be a day when one of them would leave first. Of course, the one left behind would feel sad, but this sadness could only be a part of the 7 emotions and 6 desires of a person's life. The sadness would eventually dissipate one day. For example, a man and a woman who had just broken up. If it wasn't for emotional reasons, that kind of pain would torment a person for a very long time. It would make them think that the world had dimmed because of it. But in the end, time would prove that there was no pain that couldn't be endured. Time was the best medicine for any wound. It would slowly heal. Although the wound would still hurt on special days, it would no longer bleed. That was enough. Some people, some things in this lifetime might just turn around and completely turn over. The word forever existed like a lie, but also like a truth. When the word forever was used to describe reunion, it was a lie. There was no such thing as forever together, no such thing as forever together. And when the word forever was used to describe separation, it was a truth. Many separations would last forever, and there would never be a chance to see each other again. Reunion wasn't easy. Separation was easy. Reunion and separation were easy. Let Su Yun leave the Dragon Brigade forever. Su Yun couldn't do it. Even if he knew that one day he would leave forever, it shouldn't be now. Fortunately, Su Yun believed that his brothers would be able to bear the heavy responsibility of protecting the country. He could also leave with peace of mind. The sudden relaxation made Su Yun feel very comfortable for the next few days. He tried to let himself relax and experience the feeling of being the CEO of Sky Entertainment and an ordinary person. Every morning, he would run for half an hour, eat a healthy breakfast, and then take a beauty sleep. When he woke up, he would start to deal with all kinds of matters in Sky Entertainment with the help of Ruan Qingshuang and Zhua Meiyan. He signed all kinds of documents until his fingers were cramping. Apart from lunch and a 2-hour lunch break, there was no free time at all. Su Yun didn't expect this at all. Before he worked in this position, Su Yun thought that the president was very free. Everything was done by the subordinates. What was there to be busy about? However, he never thought that although he didn't have to do anything himself, there were so many people and departments under him. In the end, the decision-making power was in his hands. Not only did he have to make a decision, but he also had to make a judgment. He had to consider the feasibility of all these things. If he didn't consider everything thoroughly, he would have to hold a meeting to discuss it. How could he not be busy? If he didn't work himself to death, then he would be the boss of a group that would eventually lose everything. Every night, when Ruan Qingshuang and the others went to do yoga, Su Yun would call Lin Gu to go to the gym with him. They would sweat all over, take a shower, and go to the swimming pool to vent the accumulated soreness from the whole day. Their stiff bodies would regain their flexibility. This could be considered a very healthy life. It was much better than sitting on the sofa of the KTV after eating every day and singing. After singing, they would go to the bar to drink until they were exhausted and went home to sleep. During his time in Qingdao, Su Yun slowly understood what was meant by fulfilling. In fact, an ordinary person's life could also be very fulfilling. It didn't have to be a meaningless life. Sometimes, when he couldn't sleep late at night, Su Yun would turn on the computer and build a story tree. He would record some of his past in the way of a script. Maybe one day, he would really want to be a director and make a real, sharp blade of the nation. Of course, this was too real. Whether a certain General Administration of Electricity would be able to approve it was still a question. Things were always mysterious and attractive. Why were the things made up out of thin air in movies, TV shows, and novels attractive? It was because no one could tell whether those stories were true or false. Perhaps, Many of the things that you see are exaggerated adaptations of real things. Su Yun would often type some stories about experts like them on the keyboard, and these stories could only be treated as jokes by the public. The only one who knew of his real existence was Su Yun, who had written it. Comfortable days always had to be interrupted. On this day, the sun was high in the sky and the temperature had warmed up. After Su Yun dealt with a few review documents in his hands, he stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window in the office and enjoyed the sunshine. However, he saw a ruined Wrangler SUV rush into the office area of the Film and Television Square base and stop at the entrance of the office building. The people from the security department went forward and were about to take him down, but the person who opened the door and got out of the car shouted, "Ask your boss to come out. I have something to see him about." Through the huge floor-to-ceiling window, Su Yun carefully identified the barbaric guy downstairs. He had no impression of him at all. However, for the sake of his absolutely cool modified Wrangler off-road vehicle, Su Yun decided to meet this person. "Who do you think you are? See our boss? Bah." The people from the security department were not to be trifled with. They were all elites. Who was afraid of who? The guy who got out of the Wrangler unceremoniously patted the hood of the car. "Don't be so cocky with me. Let me tell you, if you don't hurry up and notify me, don't regret it later. If you delay my important matters, be careful that your boss doesn't let you get out of here. Brothers, we met a lunatic today. Kill him." The head of the security team waved his hand. "Open your dog eyes and see where you are before you barge in. Teach him a lesson. If anything happens, I'll take responsibility. Don't regret it if you make a move." As the guy who drove the Wrangler spoke, he did a backflip and jumped onto the roof of the car with one hand supporting the front of the car. He was definitely as nimble as a monkey. "You bunch of idiots, listen carefully. I'll say it one last time. Get your boss to see me immediately. Go." The head of the security team didn't hesitate and ordered. At this time, Su Yun had already arrived downstairs. He walked out of the office door and said lightly, "Looking for me? I don't think we know each other." When Su Yun came out, the security team quickly surrounded him to protect him. The head of the security team explained helplessly, "Mr. Su, this is all my fault. I didn't pay attention and this guy rushed in. He broke the landing pole at the door." Speaking of this, the head of the security team fiercely looked back at the guy who drove the Wrangler. "You destroyed private property. Pay me the money immediately. Otherwise, I'll call the police to warn you and detain you for 8 to 10 days. TSK, go ahead and sue me. Let's see if your boss will let you sue me." The guy who drove the Wrangler smirked. "A bunch of idiots. The Northerners should know that idiots were called eunuchs." It was quite sarcastic to use it to scold people. The group of men in the security team couldn't stand it. They all rubbed their fists and were ready to teach this guy a lesson. However, Su Yun didn't have the intention to let them do it. Instead, he said lightly, "You've modified the car well." "Of course." The guy who drove the Wrangler said proudly. "This brother made it himself. It's the only one in the whole country. If you're done showing off, come down and talk nicely." Su Yun said, "If you have something to say to me, then say it. If not, then get lost. I'll also remind you that you're not my brother. If you want to act big in front of me, it's about time. Also, I'll also remind you that my temper is not as good as you think." Chapter 1472. Su Yun walked back to his office without looking back. The guy who drove the Wrangler jumped off the roof. The security guards who were scolded by him wanted to beat him up. Seeing this, the guy hurriedly shouted, "If you want to talk, then talk. Don't hit me. You heard it. Your boss invited me in to talk. If I can't get in today, then you'll be the ones fired tomorrow." The security guards were anxious and angry. This guy was really asking for a beating. However, Su Yun didn't make it clear whether he wanted to give him a chance to talk or not. They didn't dare to hit him and kick him out. They were in a dilemma. Fortunately, someone spoke up and gave them an idea. "What kind of skills does our boss Su have?" Not to mention that this weak guy won't be able to hurt him. Even if there are 10 felons, our boss Sue won't be afraid. If you let him in, if he looks for trouble, he'll be asking for trouble. That's right. It's okay to let him in. However, if he really has something important to say and you stop him, then our boss Sue will blame you. A Sky Entertainment employee who knew a little about Soo Yoon analyzed. These words were quite reasonable, and the few security guards finally made way for him. Grandson, you better remember this. If you are chased out by our Chief Sue in a while, then we will really let you know what methods we have. The guy who drove the Wrangler clicked his tongue. What kind of methods? Are you going to eat me alive? Stop trying to scare me. I've been scared since I was a child. If you have any skills, then show them to me. Don't make me look down on you. Brothers, did you hear this guy's provocation? Then let's show him what we have. The head of the security team shouted, "This car is in the way. It's affecting our building's leaders. Brothers, give me a hand and help me carry this troublesome thing away." Okay. The security guards immediately surrounded the Wrangler. They tightened their belts and breathed into their palms. It looked like they were really going to move the car. The modification expert who had always treated the Wrangler as a treasure immediately glared at him. "Lift it. Even if you want to burn this car, I won't say a word." This big guy originally weighed close to 2,000 kilograms, but after being tormented by him, it became even heavier. 4,000 caddies of weight, with just a few security guards. How could they possibly carry it away? No way. However, under the leadership of the captain of the security force, the 7 or 8 security guards really opened his eyes. They really lifted the car and walked away. Because of the modifications, the entire car was an easy place to attack. Once the car was on the shoulder, everyone could use their strength. This time, the guy's eyes almost popped out of their sockets, but a man of his word couldn't be taken back. Before he left, he gritted his teeth and said, "Burn it. Even if I burn it, I won't let you guys pay for it. I am a man of my word." After that, the guy didn't care about his precious car anymore and rushed into the office building to chase after Soo Yoon. Soo Yoon didn't take the elevator, but went straight to the stairs. He heard the hurried footsteps behind him, but he didn't turn back to ask anything. He still walked upstairs unhurriedly. If there was anything to say, he would say it when he reached the office. Seeing Soo Yoon so calm, the guy who hurriedly caught up coughed twice, tidied up his clothes, and followed behind Soo Yoon unhurriedly, as if nothing had happened. He couldn't let others see that he wasn't calm enough. The two walked silently all the way to the office. At this time, Lin Guo also came back from his work outside. Because he was prepared to stay in Qingdao for a long time to help Soo Yoon deal with the film and television base, Fangya got the opportunity to be transferred to Qingdao's Luting film and television base through her own efforts and fighting. For the past few days, Lin Guo had been busy helping Fangya with some of her errands. Everything at the airport had just been settled, and Fangya would be officially employed tomorrow. He directly picked her up and prepared to treat everyone to dinner in the evening. Before the car was turned off, people from the security department came out carrying a modified Wrangler. At that time, Lin Guo jumped out of the car and walked directly to them. "What's going on?" "Oh, Mr. Lin, you don't know. Just now, a scoundrel came and blocked the car directly in front of the office building." The security team leader sighed. Lin Guo certainly believed this. There were only 4 steps in front of the office building, and this car could definitely be driven up. If the driver was skilled, it wouldn't be a problem to drive this thing directly up the stairs. As long as the car didn't bump on the ground, this modified car was amazing. "We have no choice but to carry this car out." The security team leader continued, "No matter what, it can't affect everyone's normal work. This car, we have to carry it out." Lin Guo glanced at the car and saw that there was no one in it. He frowned and asked, "Where is he? Where is he? I'll go meet him." Who on earth had the guts to come here and cause trouble? In Qingdao, there really wasn't anyone who dared to challenge the Sky Entertainment Group's Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. The leaders of the municipal government, the leaders of the various departments, the gangs led by Shi Lei and Song Shan were all respectful to Su Yun's territory. It wasn't that they hadn't caused trouble before, but their ending was miserable. First, they were beaten half to death by Shirley. Later, they were sentenced to 3 to 5 years in prison for causing trouble. And it was guaranteed that these people wouldn't have a good time in prison. Whether it was the prison bully or the head of the prison, which one of them didn't Shirley know? There were even a few people who had been with him before. It was very easy to teach these people a lesson. After 3 to 5 times, whether it was the leaders of Qingdao or the head of the gangsters, they all knew who they couldn't touch and who they couldn't provoke. Lin Ge was really surprised that someone suddenly came to cause trouble today. Who on earth ate the bear's heart and leopard's guts? He really wanted to see who it was. He has gone to Boss Su's office. The security team leader said. What? You couldn't stop one person? Lin Ge was a little speechless. What was the use of carrying a car out? Boss Lin, don't worry. It's not that we couldn't stop him. It's Boss Su who asked him to go. The security team leader said, we don't know what he means, but he can't hurt Boss Su alone, so that's true. Lin Ge was relieved. Since it was Brother Yun who asked him to go, then it was a different story. Why are you so mysterious? Since my brother knows him, why didn't you say so earlier? No, we don't know him. The security team leader said, Boss Su didn't say that he knew him. And it looks like he really doesn't know him. Doesn't know him? Lin Ge frowned again. Forget it, he should go up and see the situation. Lin Ge ran to the car and asked Feng Ye to get out. He gave her the key to his office and asked her to wait for him in his office. He had to go to Su Yun's office first. Lin Ge was now a person of status. He was the vice president of the business expansion department of Sky Entertainment Group. He was definitely a person of high status. Recently, he had been learning management from Ruan Qingshuang. In the future, he would strive to be a qualified manager. With his current status, Lin Ge must be able to meet Feng Ye's parents openly. After all, Feng Ye was the only daughter of Shen Jiang. She came all the way to Qingdao to work for him. Her family was dissatisfied with this matter. Lin Ge could only use his own excellence to prove to her parents that he was worthy of their daughter's sacrifice. No matter if a person was vain or not, in some matters, they really needed to give face to their vanity. Without this face, some things wouldn't work. Chapter 1473. If you have something to say, just say it. After returning to the office, Su Yun went straight to the point. I'll give you 3 minutes. Oh, Mr. Su, you're too direct. At least ask me what my name is and what I do. The young wrangler didn't expect Su Yun to be so straightforward. You're asking me to get down to business. I'm really embarrassed to talk about it. Su Yun said bluntly, I saw that your car was modified really well. I don't want my security guards to cripple your hands because of such a small matter. Otherwise, such good craftsmanship would be wasted. Do you understand? Understood. The young man nodded. Even a fool can understand what you're saying. You're interested in my pair of modified hands, not me. If it weren't for the fact that I cleaned up the car, you would have already thrown me into the sea to feed the sharks, right? Su Yun looked at the young man and felt that he was a bit familiar. I'm a decent businessman. I won't do those things like murder and arson. But if you want to disturb me, I won't let you go easily. It's that simple. Okay, you still have 2 minutes. What's the matter? Are you going to say it or not? Knock, knock, knock. The office door was knocked 3 times. Lin Ge didn't wait for Su Yun to answer and pushed the door open. He just asked the secretary, and she said that Brother Yun and the uninvited guest just entered the office a minute ago. Lin Ge went in and called him brother. Then, he began to look up and down at the young man sitting opposite Su Yun. The young man was dressed well. His whole body was basically branded from head to toe. His small face was also quite white. At first glance, one could tell that he was raised by a rich family. Who's this guy? The young man looked at Lin Ge unhappily. This is too rude. He just pushed the door open and entered without asking if there's anyone inside. As the CEO, you can't just ignore it. What if you and the secretary have some sex in the office? Wouldn't this guy see it? The secretary outside the door blushed when she heard this. Soo-yoon originally did not have the intention to hit this grandson, but now, he really wanted to raise his hand and slap him. This child must have eaten something messy, right? Why did he have the guts to say such nonsense? As soon as Lin-gu closed the door, he pointed at the kid's nose and scolded, "If you dare to talk nonsense to me again, let's see if I dare to tear your mouth apart and throw you into the sea to feed the sharks. You just said that you're a businessman and won't do things like murder and arson. TSK, TSK, TSK. Your subordinate is making a fool out of himself." The young man shrugged. "It's okay. If you really want to feed me to the sharks, then take me. Anyway, my family has been ruined by you. There's no point in me living anymore. If I die, then I die. It's worth it to leave my corpse for the police to investigate all of you. What was this guy trying to do? If you have something to say, say it. If you have something to say, say it. Don't talk nonsense in the company. Who ruined your family? We don't even know you." Lin-gu was anxious. Whose kid's brain isn't working well? "Brother, don't worry about this. I'll send him to the police station." Lin-gu couldn't sit still in the face of such a guy who was talking nonsense. After all, this was the company. There were so many people, and the more people there were, the easier it would be. If rumors were to spread, it would really make people think of Soo-yoon as a villain. Who's talking nonsense? What evidence do you have to say that I'm talking nonsense? The young man glared. Who do you think you are? I'm here to ask Soo-yoon. Why are you interfering? What's your identity? What's wrong with you? Whether Soo-yoon did it or not, he knows clearly in his heart. You don't have to quibble for him here. Soo-yoon didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Seeing that Lin-gu was about to hit him, he had to stand up and stop him. "Pigeon, let him say it. I really want to hear it. When did I ruin someone's family?" Lin-gu was speechless. If Big Brother Yoon hadn't spoken up, he would have slapped that B*****'s mouth until it was broken. Good. The one with the surname Soo, then you listen to me clearly. If you're a man, then admit it openly. The young man said, "I don't change my name. I'm Yu Tianjiao." Pfft. Lin-gu couldn't hold back and laughed out loud. What Tianjiao? Looking at this guy's clothes and car, he knew that he was a prodigal. What Tianjiao? Soo-yoon frowned. This Beijing accent, it can't be? Why? Did you think of something? President Soo, did you find your conscience? What you've done has seriously affected our family. Our family is already broken and our people are dead. You can still sit in the office without any worries. Ha ha ha. You are really a person with a conscience. Mr. Soo, I ask you to put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, have you been living a good life recently? Yu Tianjiao's face was full of displeasure. Your brain is really not working well, right? Lin-gu said, I'll warn you again. No one here knows you. Don't cause trouble here. I don't have the habit of calling the police to deal with things. Come, kill me. It's better if you kill my whole family. Yu Tianjiao said, Surname Soo, you dare to do it but don't dare to admit it, right? My sister still talked about you like a big shot in front of me. Bah. You're just a coward who doesn't dare to admit it. Damn you. When Lin-gu heard this guy insulting Soo-yoon, he had already raised his arm and was ready to hit him. Soo-yoon finally spoke. You are Yu Jiaqian's younger brother? I thought President Soo was so forgetful that you really didn't remember our Yu family. Yu Tianjiao was even more arrogant now. He pointed at the tip of his nose and said to Lin-gu, Come and hit me. Let's see if you regret it after hitting me. Lin-gu was stunned because he didn't know what happened in Yanjing, so he didn't know anything about the Yu family. Brother, do you really know this guy? Soo-yoon shook his head. I don't know him, but I know his sister. It doesn't matter if you don't know me. As long as you still recognize my sister, then this matter can't run away. Yu Tianjiao said, "You have also seen my mother. I don't know what your relationship with my sister is, but based on their attitudes, I feel that I'm your future brother-in-law, a distinguished guest. Why? Shouldn't you pour a glass of water for your brother-in-law?" Su Yun didn't have time to argue with him now. "Kid, I know your sister, and I have also seen your mother. But it doesn't mean that I will be polite to you. I am warning you for the last time. If you talk nonsense again, I will teach you a lesson on behalf of your sister." "Oh, you haven't married my sister yet, and you are already threatening your brother-in-law?" Yu Tianjiao was still full of nonsense. Su Yun suddenly hooked his leg and directly flipped Yu Tianjiao to the ground. Yu Tianjiao's small body really didn't have any coordination. His head smashed into the ground. If he had a close contact with the floor, he probably wouldn't have many teeth left in his mouth. At the critical moment, Su Yun still grabbed the back of his neck, so that he wouldn't really fall on his face. Yu Tianjiao was shocked with a cold sweat. This time, he was sure that Su Yun's skill was really not a bluff. His mouth finally became honest. "You can still remember my sister, which means that you still have a little conscience. Humph, don't think that I am afraid of you. Today, I came to you to reason." But this kid was stubborn and still didn't give in. Su Yun asked seriously, "Did something happen in your family again? How are your mother and sister now? You still have a conscience?" Yu Tianjiao snorted and said, "I tell you, if you say half a word of nonsense, I won't just scare you." Su Yun's eyes were full of cold eyes, and Yu Tianjiao had a chill. Chapter 1474. Yu Tianjiao pulled a long face, as if Su Yun owed him tens of millions. "Okay, since we've already talked about it, then I won't beat around the bush with you. I'll just ask you one thing. All the misfortunes in my family were caused by you. Shouldn't you be responsible for my family?" Before Su Yun could speak, Lin Guo glared at him. "That depends on what happened. Even if we owe you a favor, it's not up to us to be responsible for your murder and arson, right?" No, we can't do things like murder and arson. I don't have the ability to do it, even if I wanted to." Yu Tianjiao said, "If I really had the ability, I wouldn't have come to you. I would have gone directly to the bastard who cheated my mother of her money and killed him. That would have saved me a lot of trouble." Su Yun could tell that the Yu family was in trouble one after another. It seemed that the Yu family was in trouble one after another. Since Su Yun returned from the bombed secret base on Pingding Mountain Island, he hadn't been to Yanjing, so he hadn't met Yu Jiaqian. However, Su Yun believed that this didn't mean that Yu Jiaqian couldn't get news about him. Although the Yu family had provoked competitors, it was still the people they provoked that led to President Yu's death. It was impossible for them not to care about the Yu family's affairs, and Su Yun was taken away by Yudikin to save Yu Jiaqian, so it was impossible for the Yu family to not care about Su Yun's affairs. Since Su Yun's accident, Yu Jiaqian had been asking the Dragon Brigade for news about Su Yun. When she learned that Su Yun had been rescued and was recuperating in Qingdao, she was completely relieved. As long as Su Yun was fine, everything was fine. Ever since they learned that Su Yun was safe and sound, Yu Jiaqian and her mother were very relieved. It was also at this time that something happened in the university that Yu Tianjiao studied at. The principal was dismissed and imprisoned because of his political stance, and many people in the university were labeled as rebels. With this chaos, it was naturally impossible for the school to continue in a normal order. All the international students returned home early for the holidays. Yu Tianjiao, who was tired of the outside world, naturally returned to Huaxia. Yu Tianjiao remained silent for 2 days about his father's death. During those 2 days, Yu Jiaqian told him about Su Yun, and told him that she had gotten her revenge. His father could rest easy in Heavenly Kingdom. In the end, they didn't know whether Yu Tianjiao had accepted this reality or not. Nothing could be seen from his face. He asked his mother for $1 million, and his mother gave it to him out of consideration for the child's depression. In the end, Yu Tianjiao bought a 2-door Wrangler that very day. To be honest, he didn't lack cars. Before Yu Tianjiao left, he had always doted on him. However, when he bought another car, no one said anything about it. Yu Jiaqian only warned him not to race. After all, a few $100,000 was nothing in the eyes of the Yu Corporation. For the next 2 weeks, Yu Tianjiao spent all his effort on this car. He spent almost all of the remaining few $100,000 on modifying the car's off-road performance. That's right, Yu Tianjiao was using this method to vent his longing for his father. Mother Yu and Yu Jiaqian knew very well that their father had always been an off-road enthusiast. It was just that his status had caused him to lose the opportunity to pursue his hobby. Only their family members knew that he would not miss the off-road rally every year. He would sponsor and watch the live broadcast. Yu Tianjiao had also liked to play with cars since he was young. This hobby had been well cultivated by his father. Although Yu Tianjiao had now studied abroad and majored in medicine, with Yu Tianjiao's character, medicine was simply playing the lute to a cow. He was not interested in studying at all, so he skipped classes almost every day. He skipped classes and went to the most famous car modification factory in Europe. There, he was willing to work as a car washing handyman for only €8 a day. He really didn't care about money. He spent hundreds of euros buying coffee for those masters every day, but he was willing to do so. He learned too many things that he was interested in. When he returned to Huaxia, he used all that he had learned on this car. With this car, he felt that his father was with him. During this period of time, Yu Tianjiao had heard his mother and sister talk about how good Su Yun was. This made him very curious about Su Yun. Later on, he heard that Su Yun's identity was not simple. Not only did he have a special identity, but he was also the big boss of a popular entertainment company in Huaxia. This made Yu Tianjiao have a rather good impression of Su Yun. However, after so long, this person that his mother and sister were talking about had never visited them in Beijing. This made Yu Tianjiao feel quite unhappy. However, he could understand that everyone was very busy, so they didn't have any dislike for Su Yun. Until one day, when Mother Yu was cheated of all the liquidity of the Yu Corporation and the hundreds of millions of savings that their family had accumulated over the years, things changed. A swindler, with his eloquent mouth, said that he wanted to invest in energy recovery power systems, and then described the reality of energy exhaustion in the world in a rather appalling way, and boasted all sorts of wild and imaginative ideas about energy recovery power systems, infinitely exaggerating the market by hundreds of times. This made Mother Yu very tempted. The energy problem would indeed be a very important and acute problem that the Earth would face in the future. The more advanced society's technology was, the more serious the energy depletion would be. It wasn't a groundless fear that in 100 years, or even less than 100 years, the world might face a serious disaster due to the depletion of energy resources. Therefore, Mother Yu felt that investing in this project would not only bring about huge returns and high profits, but it would also bring hope to the people in the future and prevent their descendants from perishing in this world due to the depletion of energy resources. It was because of this that Mother Yu was cheated into losing everything. When Yu Jiaqian found out about this and reported it to the police, it was already over. The swindler had already taken the money to some corner of the world. This unforeseen event caused the Yu family to suffer a considerable loss. The Yu Corporation was also in a precarious situation. If they wanted to get the Yu Corporation back on the right track, they would have to sell off a large portion of their shares and let people with the ability and capital inject funds to revive the Yu Corporation. Otherwise, the Yu Corporation could only face the path of bankruptcy. However, once they sold off a large portion of their shares, the Yu Corporation might no longer belong to the Yu Corporation in the future. Because of this matter, Mother Yu wanted to commit suicide many times. If Yu Jiaqian hadn't stopped her, she would have died long ago. Regarding this matter, Yu Jiaqian shouldered it all on her own. Faced with the sudden collapse of the sky, she didn't avoid it at all. Instead, she resolutely shouldered it. Yu Jiaqian was very calm in the face of everything that had happened. She said that there was no need to analyze this matter at all. If they didn't do something, the Yu Corporation would collapse in front of their eyes. If they sold off their shares, they could at least ensure that the Yu Corporation continued to operate normally. When she had the money and opportunity in the future, she would think of a way to recover the shares bit by bit. In the end, the Yu Corporation would still be in their hands. However, Yu Jiaqian could deceive herself, but she couldn't deceive her mother and brother. There were no fools in this world. How could they spit out someone who could take over the U Corporation? Of course not. Once the U Corporation shares were sold off, there was no way to get them back. Unless the company collapsed, there was no way to recover them. Even the ignorant and incompetent Yu Tianjiao knew this. The whole family rejected Yu Jiaqian's decision, but other than this, there was no other way. Yu Tianjiao suddenly thought of Su Yun. If it weren't for Su Yun and the rest, his father wouldn't have died and this wouldn't have happened. So Yu Tianjiao blamed everything on Su Yun, left a note, and drove to Qingdao in the middle of the night. Chapter 1475. After hearing Yu Tianjiao's words, Su Yun realized the seriousness of the matter. He did not expect Auntie Yu's moment of folly to push the U Corporation into such a desperate situation. Yu Jiaqian must be in a very uncomfortable situation now. On one hand, she could not bear to let go of the U Corporation. This was her father's life's work. Now that her father had left them, this was the only thing she could rely on and protect. However, this unforeseen event was unavoidable. No matter how much she wanted to protect the things, she still had to pay the price. These things were unavoidable. No one could turn back time. Yu Jiaqian had to pay for her mother's mistake. Although this was a huge price to pay, there was no hurdle that one could not overcome. She believed that she could bear it and that as long as she persevered, she would be able to regain everything that she had lost one day. However, after making all the decisions, Yu Jiaqian woke up early in the morning and saw a note left by her brother on the dining table. The familiar handwriting entered her eyes, and the content made Yu Jiaqian unable to remain calm. This was too ridiculous. What exactly was that bastard Yu Tianjiao thinking? Originally, Su Yun had helped them catch the enemy who killed their father and even used his life in exchange for hers. This was already something that the Yu family could not repay. Now that the family was in trouble, that little bastard Yu Tianjiao actually said that Su Yun had to bear the responsibility and that they could not let him off so easily. What a preposterous guy! How could he do such a ridiculous thing? She really wondered if he had eaten all these years for nothing. How could he not understand such a simple logic? Jiaqian, what's wrong? Mother Yu's mental state had been very bad recently. She knew that she was the one who had put her children in such a desperate situation. This kind of accusation made her want to leave this world many times. However, every time she thought about it, if she could not see her 2 children happy in her lifetime, she would not even have the face to see their father. This was perhaps the only motivation for Mother Yu to persevere and live on. Now that she saw the gloomy look on her daughter's face, how could her mother not feel heartache? It was a form of mental torture. Tianjiao. He actually went to Qingdao. Yu Jiaqian handed the note over helplessly. Mother Yu took the note and was dumbfounded when she read it. This child was really muddle-headed. They couldn't repay Su Yun's kindness to their family. This child actually said that he wanted Su Yun to be responsible for their family's current situation. What a stupid kid, a brainless stupid kid. If he really caused trouble for Su Yun, how could they face Su Yun? They wouldn't be able to face him for the rest of their lives. Sigh, this child. How long has he been gone? Hurry and chase after him. Maybe we can still make it in time. Mother Yu said in a panic. I can't catch up to him, Yu Jiaqian said lightly. Not long after I fell asleep last night, I heard him driving out. I thought he was in a bad mood and wanted to find a place to calm down. I didn't expect him to go to Qingdao. After saying that, Yu Jiaqian looked at the time. At this time, this guy must have arrived at Qingdao. She really regretted telling her brother so much about Su Yun. Presumably, he had already gone to the Sky Entertainment Group's film and television plaza to cause trouble for Su Yun. It was too late. It was impossible to stop him in time. Then what should we do? This will embarrass Su Yun. Mother Yu was upset that she didn't educate her son well. Yu Jiaqian shook her head helplessly. Since it has already happened, we can't do anything about it. Let him be. Anyway, I will go to the company this morning to sign the contract for the sale of shares with the other shareholders. This matter is settled. Mother, I am still young. You must believe in me. I will definitely have the chance to get back what we have lost today. Yes, I believe in you, Mother, Yu said firmly. Yu Jiaqian went to wash up. Mother Yu made some simple breakfast for her daughter to eat before leaving. She could only wait at home for everything to be over. Yu Jiaqian seemed to be driving away calmly, but she was really absent-minded. There were a few times when she almost got into a car accident. If it weren't for the warning signs of the car, she would have been in trouble today. After all, she was going to sell the Yu Corporation. Only she could understand how she felt. Seeing that she had finally reached the building, Yu Jiaqian slowed down the car. She suddenly regretted it. However, since things had already come to this, it was impossible for her to salvage the situation. Unless God really gave her a huge sum of money, only then would she be able to save the Yu Corporation. However, it was impossible for God to give such a huge sum of money into anyone's pocket. Even if she could win 200 to 300 million yuan from the lottery now, it would only be a drop in the bucket for the huge financial hole of the Tianyu Corporation. Forget it, she didn't want to think about it anymore. Yu Jiaqian parked the car and walked toward the meeting room with determined steps. This might be the last time she would be in charge of anything in this meeting room. At this thought, the forced smile on Yu Jiaqian's face became very awkward. He, President Yu, you are finally here. Let's hurry up with the contract. You know that our shareholders can't wait any longer. 65% of the Yu Corporation shares belong to the Yu family, and Shi Tianyu was the second largest shareholder of the Yu Corporation. He originally held 15% of the shares, but he was fully prepared this time around. Even if he had to go bankrupt, he was going to take over 35% of the Yu Corporation shares in one go. This way, the Yu Corporation would have to listen to him. Yu Jiaqian knew very well what these people were thinking. However, since things had come to this, she had no choice but to fulfill their wishes. Uncle Shi, the Yu Corporation will be in your hands in the future. Yu Jiaqian said humbly. Ha, of course. Your father and I worked hard to build the Yu Corporation. Now that you have handed it over to me, you can rest assured. Shi Tianyu said proudly. Very quickly, the meeting room was filled with all the shareholders of the Yu Corporation. All the shares had been settled and they were waiting for Yu Jiaqian to sign it. As long as Yu Jiaqian signed it, everyone would be able to transfer their funds into the Tianyu Corporation according to the agreement. This way, the Tianyu Corporation would be saved and the shares would belong to everyone who had invested in it. Yu Jiaqian picked up the fountain pen and looked at the document for the last time. Her fingers were trembling and she had even forgotten how to write her name. Su Yun, who was far away in Qingdao, had also asked Yu Tianjiao to explain everything to him in detail. After he understood everything, Su Yun also knew why this fellow was so anxious. Once the shares were sold, the Yu Corporation would be gone. Yu Tianjiao said impatiently, "Tell me, are you going to interfere in this matter or not? In any case, you guys were involved in my family's difficulties in the first place. You have to interfere in this matter whether you want to or not." "Did your sister say when she would sell the shares?" Su Yun asked seriously. "Today." After Yu Tianjiao finished speaking, he looked at the time and said, "She should be settling the contract now." "Damn it, why didn't you say so earlier?" Su Yun suddenly roared. Yu Tianjiao was so shocked that he almost squatted on the ground. Su Yun grabbed Yu Tianjiao's collar and said, "Call your sister immediately. Tell her that no matter how many shares it is, no matter how much it costs, even if she wants me to pay double the price, I will buy it. However, she will not be allowed to sell it to anyone else." Yu Tianjiao's face instantly bloomed with joy. This was indeed the man that his sister had taken a liking to. He was really loyal. "What are you laughing about? Call her." Su Yun said, "If the contract is signed, I will really feed you to the fish." Call. Yu Tianjiao fumbled for his cell phone and quickly dialed Yu Jiaqian's number. Chapter 1476. Everything that was supposed to happen would eventually happen. Yu Jiaqian seriously signed her name on the document in front of her. This represented the decision of the Yu family. Once this decision was signed, it meant that everything would come into effect. Once it came into effect, she would have to withdraw from the company forever. In order to protect the Yu Corporation, Yu Jiaqian had to withdraw from the company. This sounded ridiculous, but it was the truth. Yu Jiaqian signed her name seriously. This meant that the fate of the Yu Corporation was in the hands of this man called Shi Tianyu. It had nothing to do with her anymore. Shi Tianyu watched with his own eyes as Yu Jiaqian signed her name at the signature. When the last stroke of the word Qian fell, the huge rock suspended in Shi Qianyu's heart finally fell. It was over. His dreams had come true. Shi Tianyu held the document in his hands agitatedly. This document would come into effect 24 hours after they completed the capital injection. He was already preparing the money and would be able to prepare it by this time tomorrow. This also meant that the Yu Corporation would belong to him 48 hours later. Everyone can see that Jiaqian sincerely wants to save the Yu Corporation. Shi Tianyu continued, "Since everyone here is her uncles, you should also show some sincerity. How about this? I will say something. Before noon tomorrow, we will hold a shareholders' meeting again. Everyone whose name is on the name list and who wants to inject capital, please prepare the money. If you still don't have enough money by tomorrow, then I, Shi Tianyu, will take care of everything." Humph, who wouldn't fork out money for such a good thing? Even if they had to fork out the money, they would still be able to do so. Everyone in the room was unhappy with the small amount of capital they had invested and the small number of shares they could get. None of them would complain about having too much. It was all because of Shi Tianyu, who had the right to speak first, that he had the right to occupy more than half of the shares. The remaining shares could only be divided equally according to their current situation. This was a fat piece of meat. Shi Tianyu wasn't the only one who knew about it. All the shareholders of the Yu Corporation knew about it. If it weren't for the fact that he was concerned about the status of these small shareholders, he would definitely have dared to be greedy. "Uncle Shi, sorry for the trouble." Yu Jiaqian stood up with a heavy heart. She wanted to let this matter pass and move on. Shi Tianyu laughed heartily. No trouble at all. You can rest assured. I will definitely make the Yu Corporation better and better. I will definitely not disappoint Brother Yu. 3 years later, Shi Tianyu would turn the Yu Corporation into his Shi Empire. Now, he wanted to make use of the Yu Corporation's reputation to rapidly increase his reputation. He believed that with his capabilities, he would be able to let everyone in Beijing know that the Yu Corporation was no longer under the control of the Yu family. At night, Shi Tianyu prepared a celebratory feast. Everyone knew what his purpose was. He tried to invite Yu Jiaqian, but Yu Jiaqian calmly refused. After leaving Sky Entertainment, Yu Jiaqian sat in the car and allowed herself to recover for a long time. Only then did her originally pounding heart slowly calm down. Everything was over. Yu Jiaqian's mouth revealed a bitter smile. This was the bitterness that one should bear in life. Someone once said that only through the most difficult perseverance could one enjoy the longest happiness. Yu Jiaqian believed that she could persevere and bear all the burdens. At this moment, her phone rang. When she saw that it was Yu Tianjiao calling, she quickly picked it up and questioned, "Tianjiao, what are you doing at Guqin Island? Come back immediately. Do you know that your mother and I will be very worried about you?" "Sister, I have traveled extensively since I was a child. On this earth, other than the North and South Poles and Mount Everest, where have I not been to?" Yu Tianjiao was a typical boastful boy. "It's just a small Guqin island, what are you worried about? Are you worried that I will cause trouble for you?" "Yu Tianjiao, don't be so cheeky. I'm talking to you about something serious. You must not disturb Su Yan's life." Yu Jiaqian's tone was firm. "The Yu family is indebted to him. You can't bite the hand that feeds you and accuse him of everything." Yu Tianjiao shrugged his shoulders. "All right, I knew you would say that. Sister, don't scold me. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm here to ask for help. You come back quickly. Don't disturb him, okay?" Yu Jiaqian said, "Don't continue before you do something stupid." Sister, but I have already seen my brother Su Yun. He is drinking tea in his office. Yu Tianjiao smiled. At this time, he felt quite good about Su Yun. We have a good chat. Yu Jiaqian's head swelled when she heard this. This stinky guy really doesn't let me have peace of mind at all. Su Yun impatiently glared at Yu Tianjiao. This was a warning to him. He had clearly said that he shouldn't let him speak nonsense. Sister, I really didn't cause any trouble. Brother Yun has something to talk to you. Yu Tianjiao put the phone on speaker and made a gesture to Su Yun. Su Yun didn't think much of it and went straight to the point. Yu Jiaqian, your brother has already told me about the matter. I will help you solve the problem of the lack of funds. However, you can't use the shares of the Yu Corporation. You should know this better than anyone else. Yu Tianjiao nodded his head vigorously at the side, as if his sister could read his body language. Yu Jiaqian was already very touched to hear Su Yun's words. However, how could she be shameless enough to let Su Yun invest more than 1 billion yuan? This was not a small sum, and it wasn't something that anyone could take out easily. Even if Su Yun could help her, it would definitely affect the normal operations of the Tian Yu Corporation. Are you listening to me? Su Yun said. Don't do anything stupid that you will regret. Thank you, Su Yun. Yu Jiaqian finally spoke. However, I have already signed the documents. Before noon tomorrow, the other shareholders will invest the funds and the shares will naturally belong to them. Su Yun, I still want to thank you, but I have already decided on this matter. You are muddle-headed, Su Yun said angrily. Yu Tianjiao was also stunned. Sister, you are not lying to me, right? You signed it. I signed it. Yu Jiaqian said calmly. The documents have already been handed over to Shi Tianyu for safekeeping. This matter is already in the past. Don't talk about it anymore. No. Yu Tianjiao was also anxious. Sister, don't you know what Shi Tianyu is thinking? We can't just give him a chance like this. Brother Yun can help us, but we can't just hand over the Yu Corporation like this. Yu Jiaqian was also angry. What's the point of not handing it over? What else can we do? Tell me, are we going to declare bankruptcy? Even if you find Su Yun, so what? There are so many loopholes in the company's finances. It's not something that can be easily solved. Su Yun knew that the two of them were not calm at the moment. He signaled Lin Gu to persuade Yu Tianjiao. He picked up the phone and said to Yu Jiaqian, don't worry. If you treat me as a friend, then believe me, there must be a solution. How about this? I will take your brother back now. With me around, you can rest assured. Su Yun, this matter is not as simple as it seems. I know you are being kind. Yu Jiaqian really did not want to implicate Su Yun. This is not a problem that can be solved with a sum of money. Su Yun smiled slightly. I know that money is not everything. However, there are some things that cannot be done without money. If a sum of money cannot solve a problem, then 2 sums of money can solve it. There will always be a time when it can be solved. Don't underestimate Sky Entertainment. A good movie can make more than 1 billion at the box office. Yu Jiaqian was so moved that tears were already rolling down her cheeks. Don't think too much about this matter. We will set off from Qingdao immediately. If you really want to thank me, then prepare 2 of my signature dishes. Su Yun looked at the time. We will definitely be able to make it for dinner. Su Yun had already said so much. What else could Yu Jiaqian say? She could only hold back her tears and nod. Okay, I will wait for you. Chapter 1477. While Su Yun was in charge, Ruan Qingshuang went home to accompany her parents for a few days. Even if he called her now, she wouldn't be able to come back in time. Therefore, Su Yun didn't say anything. He directly contacted Bai Xiaoye and asked her to help him for 2 days. He also asked her to arrange for someone to guard the hotel. Bai Xiaoye agreed without hesitation. She didn't ask what was going on. She knew her brother very well. He wasn't someone who could sit still. If he wanted to do something, even if you tied him up, he would find a way to escape and do what he wanted to do. Instead of asking and persuading him, it was better to let him go. As expected of his biological sister, she understood Su Yun's thoughts the best. Su Yun didn't need to say any polite words like thanks. He directly left with Yu Qianzhao. Lin Gu had to go with them. Feng Ye's matter had already been settled. The only thing that made things difficult for him was that he had to bring Feng Ye over. Fortunately, Feng Ye was considerate. She knew that Lin Gu and Su Yun had urgent matters to attend to in Beijing. Not only was she not angry, but she also comforted Lin Gu and told him not to be distracted. She just had to wait for him to come back. Feng Ye didn't trust Lin Gu, but she trusted Su Yun. With Su Yun around, Lin Gu would definitely be taken care of. Moreover, Lin Gu was Su Yun's right-hand man. Feng Ye knew very well that Su Yun needed him. How could she monopolize Lin Gu at this time? Su Yun apologized to Feng Ye. At this time, Yu Tianjiao couldn't wait to get the car. The security guards who carried his Wrangler out saw this and wanted to stop him. Yu Tianjiao was full of confidence this time. He pointed at Su Yun with a fierce look. Su Yun nodded and motioned for the security guards to make way for him and let him drive the car. He and Lin Gu also went to get the car and prepared to follow Yu Tianjiao to Beijing. The few security guards looked at each other. Could it be that this kid really had some background and connections? Their CEO Su was someone who didn't even give face to the emperor. Today he actually gave face to this kid. This kid's connections were really strong. The security guards didn't dare to put on airs in front of Yu Tianjiao and immediately stepped aside. Did you see that? Did you see that? Yours truly had already said that you guys had better not offend yours truly. Today, I'm a magnanimous man. If not for the fact that I'm busy right now, I would have really argued with you guys. Yu Tianjiao's face was so high that it could almost touch the heavens. Seeing his smug look, the security guards really wanted to teach him a lesson, but the head of the security force knew in his heart. After all, this kid came out behind Chairman Su, and Chairman Su didn't give him any face. No matter what identity he had, at least the security guards couldn't afford to offend him. The head of the security force pulled his subordinates behind him. All of you, go back and do what you're supposed to do. Oh, the captain has good eyesight. Yu Tianjiao laughed. No wonder you're the captain. Look at me clearly. Maybe I'm your boss's future brother-in-law, do you understand? The head of the security force suddenly understood and took a deep breath. No wonder they were so arrogant. It turned out that Director Su had a relationship outside. Tiske. Director Su was young and rich. He was also very capable. It was hard for him not to be a playboy. Yu Tianjiao, if you talk nonsense again, I'll sew it up for you. Su Yun looked back and glared at him. Look at me clearly. Even if I break your legs, your sister and your mother won't blame me. Do you believe me? Yes, I believe. I won't say any more. Yu Tianjiao hurried to get the car. The head of the security force immediately closed his mouth. This was the boss's business. When he should pretend that he didn't know anything, he had to pretend that he didn't know anything. Don't listen to rumors. Talk less and do more. Su Yun gave him a warning and got into the car. The two cars left under the gaze of the security force. Feng Ye had just arrived here and didn't know any friends. She had to drive to find Bai Xiaoye. Bai Xiaoye was probably the person she was most familiar with on Qingdao. At this time, Bai Xiaoye called her and said that she had just received a call from Lin Gu. She asked her to wait here and she would come over immediately. Although Lin Gu had left, Feng Ye still felt warm in her heart. The two cars drove north. Yu Tianjiao sped up all the way. They finally arrived in Yanjing before the sky turned completely dark. Yu Jiaqian didn't miss the appointment. She had prepared dinner and was waiting for them with her mother. The two villas of the Yu family had been sold. Now, they were living in a 3-bedroom apartment of less than 150 square meters. Although this was not a small house for ordinary people, it was too small for the Yu family. Especially Yu Tianjiao, he was quite dissatisfied with living in such a small place. In the past, his entertainment room was bigger than this entire house. He could play billiards, karaoke, drink, and even have a sauna. But now... Sigh, let's not talk about it. It will only make me cry. Auntie Yu, are you okay? After Su Yun arrived, he didn't go straight to the point. Instead, he asked with concern for Mother Yu. Mother Yu liked Su Yun. This child was too sensible. Su Yun, you're finally here. Sigh, my body is fine, but my heart. It's empty. It's all my fault that such a big thing happened. I'm really old and muddle-headed. Auntie Yu, please don't say that. Su Yun, the tricks of these scammers are really hard to guard against. They use people's kindness to do things. Don't take it to heart. I'll take care of this matter. Yu Jiaqian's gratitude to Su Yun was self-evident. However, this matter really couldn't be left to Su Yun. Su Yun, I've already taken care of the matter. Thank you for your kindness. Didn't you say that it hasn't taken effect yet? Su Yun, as long as you get the document back, everything can be renegotiated, right? Yu Jiaqian was stunned. But... No buts. Su Yun interrupted her. I didn't come all the way here from Guqin Island just to taste your and Auntie's cooking. I'm definitely going to take care of this matter. Just like Yu Qianjiao said, if it weren't for the matter with me, perhaps the innocent uncle you wouldn't have. Su Yun, this isn't your fault. Yu Jiaqian interrupted Su Yun. Qianjiao is talking nonsense. Don't listen to him. He's always like this. He doesn't think before he speaks. Su Yun, if he doesn't think before speaking, perhaps it's more like what he's thinking. Yu Qianjiao was now full of admiration for Su Yun. He even changed the way he addressed him. Brother-in-law, I admire you for this matter. Man. Can't you shut the door with that mouth of yours? Yu Jiaqian glared fiercely at Yu Qianjiao. However, Mother Yu was very satisfied with her son's way of addressing her. Yu Qianjiao stuck out his tongue and didn't say anything else. Anyway, he had already expressed his thoughts. As for future matters, he wouldn't be able to help. Su Yun wasn't bothered. Who did you give the document to? Shi Tianyu. Yu Jiaqian said, he's the vice president of the Yu Corporation. However, in the future, perhaps... Yu Qianjiao had an idea again. Brother Yun, why don't I bring you to his office when there's no one around? He wouldn't leave such an important document in his office. He would definitely bring it home with him and place it in the safest place. Su Yun, if it were me, I wouldn't want to let such a thing slip away. I would definitely be extremely careful. Yu Qianjiao nodded his head. Brother Yun, do you mean that we should go to his house directly? Catch him off guard? Can you stop adding fuel to the fire? Yu Jiaqian pulled her brother to the side and said to Su Yun seriously, Su Yun, I admit that I don't want to do this either. However, I've already signed the document. If you use violence to snatch it back, it will be considered a crime. You can't break the law knowingly. I can't. I definitely can't. Su Yun nodded his head repeatedly. However, if he returns it to me voluntarily, it won't be considered a violation of the law, right? Yes, that definitely won't be counted. Yu Qianjiao refused to give up. Yu Jiaqian frowned. What exactly do you want? Su Yun smiled. Come, let's eat. I'm hungry. What I do is my business. You guys don't have to worry about it. Chapter 1478. This was definitely the most comfortable meal Yu Qianjiao had in the past few days. He was quite satisfied with his wise decision. Ever since Su Yun entered his family, his mother's face had always been smiling. Although his sister was still putting on airs, he was her biological brother. He knew better than anyone whether his sister was happy or not. Finally, after dinner, no matter how Yu Jiaqian tried to persuade him, she couldn't stop Su Yun from making up his mind. Yu Qianjiao was anxious several times. He invited Su Yun over from afar just to help. Who knew if his sister's brain was flooded with water? She kept saying that she didn't need his help. Fortunately, Su Yun's attitude was firm enough that Yu Jiaqian didn't waver in the end. Although Yu Jiaqian kept saying that, her heart was also rekindled with hope. Anyway, Yu Jiaqian wouldn't cooperate with him. Su Yun didn't stay in the Yu family for too long and left with Yu Tianjiao. Yu Tianjiao was absolutely overjoyed. He didn't expect that he would be of use. He was definitely the pride of the Yu family. Why are you bringing him along? He's a one-track mind. He doesn't think about the consequences. Yu Jiaqian didn't have much confidence in this pride of the Yu family. She looked at Su Yun and tried to persuade him to give up this wrong decision. Yu Tianjiao pulled a long face. Sister, I'm your biological brother. Am I so unreliable in your eyes? You've done everything carelessly since you were young. Of course I'm worried. Yu Jiaqian was telling the truth. She wasn't trying to discourage him. If you can do something wholeheartedly and seriously, even if you don't do it perfectly, I can rest assured and let you go with Su Yun. But, Yu Tianjiao's face darkened. He really didn't do anything perfectly, right? It was just a matter of a few minutes of heat. Once this heat passed, everything would be wasted. He does. Su Yun suddenly said, didn't he modify the car himself? Yes. Yu Jiaqian and Mother Yu were stunned. That's quite wholehearted and serious. Su Yun, at least I feel that the modified car is the most awesome Wrangler I have ever seen in Huaxia. Su Yun's words touched the hearts of the members of the Yu family. Yu Tianjiao had done this for his father, so he had poured his heart and soul into it. That was why this car was able to catch Su Yun's eye. It was also why this car was so shocking. My father is an off-road modification enthusiast, but he never had the chance to realize his dream. Yu Jiaqian lowered her head and said faintly, I know. My brother did his best to change it for him. Su Yun nodded. Then all the more reason for me to bring him to help me. He won't spare any effort to help his family. Of course. Yu Tianjiao said, if I can't protect the Yu Corporation, I'm not fit to be a man of the Yu family. Brother Yun, I went to Qingdao to beg you not because I'm thick-skinned, but because I can't bear to see the Yu Corporation. Just give it away to someone else. I know that I'm not as capable as my sister, but no matter what, I'm still the only man of the Yu family. If I don't step up, no one else will. What a man! Well said. Regardless of whether this matter succeeds or not, I still have to do it. Even if Brother Yun didn't help me this time, I would still look for Shi Tianyu if I knew that my sister had signed the document. Yu Tianjiao said seriously, even if he doesn't return it to me, I have to let him know that not all the men of the Yu family are dead. How dare he bully the Yu family? I'll remember this. Yu Jiaqian was about to question this fellow if he was crazy, but Su Yun agreed with him. If you're a man, you have to think and do this. Let's go. Today, I'll take you to get back what belongs to you. Okay. Yu Tianjiao answered firmly. You guys. Yu Jiaqian didn't say the words, you guys are fooling around. She saw the determination and persistence in Su Yun and her brother's eyes. They weren't joking. If they said they would do it, then they would do it. Be careful on the road, Yu Jiaqian said. Mother Yu knew that she couldn't stop them. She said to Lin Gu, who was standing beside Su Yun, please take care of the two of them. Don't worry, Auntie, Lin Gu smiled and said, there's nothing that my brother can't do. You guys don't have to worry about this. Just wait for our good news at home. The three of them left the Yu family and got into Yu Tianjiao's car. Yu Tianjiao was quite familiar with Shi Tianyu's house and remembered the properties that Shi Tianyu frequented. Yu Tianjiao, I have a question for you, Su Yun asked in the car. Has the Yu Corporation ever faced any financial problems in the past? What did the shareholders do? Yes, they did. Yu Tianjiao said, Brother, in the past, my father was around. With just a word from him, they would all invest money. That's because everyone knows that the Yu Corporation is capable. The money invested will definitely not be lost. Su Yun nodded his head and asked, Then why didn't anyone ask for shares in the past? They wouldn't dare. Yu Qianjiao started to show off again. Those who aren't willing to invest can get lost. My father can get money anywhere. He'll take back all their shares in a fit of anger. Let's see where they go to cry. Su Yun understood now. In that case, it can't be said that it was their investment this time. My father is gone, so they said that they had no money to invest, Yu Qianjiao said. Then they had money after your sister used her shares in exchange for the investment? Su Yun understood the little trick. There's something fishy about this. Of course there's something fishy. Yu Qianjiao said, those old bastards have their eyes on the Yu Corporation, especially that Shi Tianyu. I suspect that he has spies around my sister and mother. After my mother was cheated, this old fox found out about our lack of money even before we announced it to the public. I suspect that it's my mother's chauffeur. After he finished speaking, Yu Qianjiao scratched his head again. But Uncle Zhang has been my family's chauffeur for more years than I am. He's not that kind of person. This old fox has too many tricks up his sleeve. It's impossible to guard against them. I really don't know where he got the news from. Su Yun was stunned. Why didn't you say this earlier? What's wrong, brother? Yu Qianjiao didn't understand what Su Yun meant. Then there's a problem. Su Yun frowned. I'm afraid that things aren't that simple. Maybe there's a bigger conspiracy behind this. Although Yu Qianjiao didn't understand, he also realized that things weren't that simple after Su Yun said this. While he was pondering, Yu Qianjiao saw that Shi Tianyu's car was parked at the entrance of a hotel on the left side of the road. The chauffeur opened the car door, and Shi Tianyu got out of the car and straightened his suit before walking into the hotel. Shi Tianyu. Yu Qianjiao didn't hesitate and wanted to make a U-turn at the junction in front. He didn't care about the sign that forbade U-turns, but the steering wheel was pulled back by Su Yun. Yu Qianjiao pointed at the hotel in shock. Brother, I saw Shi Tianyu. You can't break the rules. Su Yun said, you've already seen him. Are you still afraid that he'll evaporate? It's fine as long as you know that he's at the hotel. Make a U-turn at the junction in front. Don't be so rash. You have to take one step at a time, and you have to eat one bite at a time. Things have to be done bit by bit. Yu Qianjiao resisted his impulse and nodded. Brother Yun's words were so reasonable. I'm afraid he's not here to eat at this time. Su Yun said, Pigeon, go check out the situation first. And Lin Gu nodded. After Yu Qianjiao parked the car, Lin Gu got out of the car and entered the hotel. Although Yu Qianjiao was also anxious to go, Su Yun didn't say anything. He braced himself and sat in the seat, waiting for Lin Gu to come back and give him the news. About 10 minutes later, Lin Gu came back. Room 1509. He's talking with a fatty inside. That fatty really looks like Xian Guijin Pang Pang. What? Yu Qianjiao's eyes widened when he heard this. He looks like Xian Guijin Pang Pang? Chapter 1479. Lin Gu frowned and said, Yeah, why do you have such a big reaction? Are you a fan of Fatty Jean? Is there a need to? Brother Yun. Something's not right. Shi Tianyu and the guy who looks like Fatty Jean met. Yu Qianjiao looked very astonished and did not look too good. Conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. I say, brother, you can be considered as someone who has been through the south, north, and north train tracks. Lin Gu said, You don't have to be so useless, do you? She just looks like Fatty Jean, not Xiao Long Nu. Is there a need to be so agitated? Even if she has a celebrity face, there's no need to be so agitated, right? How could Yu Qianjiao be so agitated just because of a celebrity face? Given his status as the young master of the Yu Corporation a month ago, it would be a piece of cake for him to hire a few celebrities to perform for him at his house. 3 years ago, there were A-listers in the country who came to support his father on his 50th birthday. My mother told me that she would definitely recognize the person who cheated her when she sees him again. That person looks like Fatty Jean from Xian Nation. It's as if they were cast from the same mold. Yu Tianjiao said, I have a deep impression of this sentence because I went to Xian Nation last year and saw that the streets and alleys of their country were filled with posters of Fatty Jean. The only thing missing was the instant noodle box that he personally endorsed as the number one. Su Yun had felt that there was something fishy about this matter right from the start. Although there was an old saying that blessings do not come in pairs and misfortunes do not come singly, God was not so wicked as to let a person have bad luck one after another. Misfortunes do not come singly. Usually, when a person is down on his luck, some vicious and merciless people will take advantage of this opportunity to add insult to injury and trick the originally unlucky person again. Just like the movie Darling, which was adapted from a true story, the person whose child was abducted was already very pitiful. After releasing an advertisement for a child with a high price, there would be a group of heartless swindlers who would use this to deceive him. Perhaps this was something that kind people could never understand. Why were those damned swindlers so heartless? Why didn't those damned swindlers fall into the latrine and choke to death? If not for the humanity of the law, Su Yun would not have let the swindlers off the hook the most. This was because the most hateful thing about swindlers was that they would take advantage of the weakest part of people's hearts and ruthlessly stab them there. Wasn't this kind of person even more hateful than those bullies? Fatty Jean has power, so he can do whatever he wants. It's a show of confidence that he's willing to endorse his products. Even the cosmetic sellers in China can endorse their products, so why can't Fatty Jean, the leader of the country, endorse his products? Lin Gu said. Su Yun glanced at Lin Gu and motioned for him to listen to the main point. The main point now was not whether Jean Pang Pang's face was suitable to be his spokesperson, but rather, what was the relationship between Shi Tianyu and Jean Pang Pang? Was this person who looked like Jean Pang Pang and the person who tricked Mama Yu into looking like Jean Pang Pang were the same person? Pigeon, we'll split up later. Keep in touch. Su Yun said, I'll leave this to you. Brother, don't worry. Lin Gu nodded. Today, he was going to meet this Fatty Jean. About half an hour later, Shi Tianyu finally came out of the hotel and got in the car to leave. Su Yun and Lin Gu exchanged glances. Lin Gu directly got out of the car and entered the hotel again. Su Yun and Yu Tianjiao followed closely behind Shi Tianyu's car. Lin Gu went straight to the room after entering the hotel. When he came to the door and was about to knock, the person in the room had already packed up and was about to leave. Oh my God, who are you? Why are you standing in front of someone's room in the middle of the night? Did you see the wrong room number? Fatty Jean was shocked by Lin Gu when he opened the door. His little heart was beating fast. What's wrong? Hua Xia is scaring people to death. CEO Jean, haha. Hello, CEO Jean. Long time no see. Lin Gu didn't care about him and pushed him into the room. The fake Fatty Jean was a little anxious. Who the F***ck are you? What do you mean? My surname isn't Jean. You've got the wrong person. Move away. I have an urgent matter. Don't be like that. You look like Xian Guo's Fatty Jean. How can your surname not be Jean? Lin Gu hooked the door with his heel and closed it. Your urgent matter now is to explain something to me. Everything else isn't important. Kid, what do you mean? Are you looking for a beating? The fake Fatty Jean was a little anxious and raised his arm to attack. Lin Gu casually waved his hand and directly blocked the fake Fatty Jean's fat fist. When he retracted his hand, his big elbow, accidentally, landed on Fatty Jean's cheek. The big head felt dizzy and fell onto the sofa with Fatty Jean's weight of close to 150 kilograms. I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose, Lin Gu said apologetically. This time, the fake Fatty Jean was completely agitated. He jumped up from the sofa and pounced on Lin Gu like a bear with the weight of Mount Tai. Lin Gu didn't dodge. If you're going to do this, I'm going to play for real. As he spoke, Lin Gu had already made his move. He directly grabbed Fatty Jean who was pouncing on him. Although the weight of close to 150 kilograms was shocking, it was like a big rubber ball in Lin Ji's hands. Without waiting for Fatty Jean to beg for mercy, Lin Gu fiercely threw the rubber ball in his hands at the wall. With a loud bang, Fatty Jean was like a pile of mud. He fell to the ground and didn't get up for a long time. "How is it, CEO Jean? Do you want to continue?" Lin Gu clapped his hands and sat on the sofa. He calmly poured himself a glass of water. "Can you sit down and have a good talk with me now?" The fake Fatty Jin's organs were all messed up from the fall. He panted heavily and didn't recover for a long time. Lin Gu wasn't in a hurry. He drank the water and slowly waited for him to speak. After all, no one would be able to withstand such a fall. Although Fatty Jean was full of fat, his body of fat really couldn't withstand such a fall. Fatty Jean rested for about 3 to 5 minutes before he struggled to get up. He looked at Lin Gu in fear. Until now, he still couldn't believe that this kid could lift him up and throw him out. One must know that his weight had exceeded 320 kilograms. He knew it very well. Even if he threw a bag of 50 kilograms of rice, an ordinary person would be tired enough. Big brother, you really found the wrong person. I'm really not CEO Jean," Fatty Jean said with a bitter expression. "Did you see my house number? I'm just a farmer from the countryside. Please don't make it difficult for me." Lin Gu nodded. "Oh, a farmer? I know a few, but I really don't know anyone who eats so much like you. You eat so much, what can you do? Also, you said that you're not CEO Jean. Then what's with your energy recovery project? Shouldn't you explain it to me?" Hearing about the energy recovery project, Fatty Jean was dumbfounded. He didn't say anything else and wanted to escape. In the end, he was trampled by Lin Gu like a horse trampling on a swallow. No, a horse trampling on a fat pig. "CEO Jean, you still want to run?" "You don't have to," Lin Gu said. "Explain it to me clearly, and we'll be fine. You won't have to suffer any more physical pain. Big brother, please spare me. I'm just a worker." Fatty Jean hugged his head and begged for mercy. "I really know my mistake. Give me a chance, big brother. I won't dare to do it again." Lin Gu took out his phone and turned on the recording. "Say it. Explain your energy recovery project to me clearly, and I'll let you go. Otherwise, if I throw you down from this floor, you'll definitely become a pile of minced meat." Fatty Jean looked up at Lin Gu. He didn't believe that he would do that. Lin Gu didn't say anything else and opened the window. Without waiting for Fatty Jean to react, he lifted him up by the waist and walked to the window like the wind. When the cold wind blew, Fatty Jean's tears almost fell out. He was very confident in his weight. If this young man couldn't hold him, he would be doomed eternally. I'll talk. My mother. Big brother. I beg you to put me down first." Chapter 1480. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. After the cold wind blew through the window, the knockoff Fatty Jean did not dare to make a fuss anymore. He felt that he had shouted loudly enough just now, but no one had noticed that he was being bullied in room 1509. This was the 15th floor. Fatty Jean definitely did not dare to joke around with his life. Although murder was against the law, he did not know the other party at all. If it was a rash person, then it would be bad. If the other party suddenly attacked and caught him off guard, then he would not even have a place to cry. "Brother, I have always been timid since I was young. Please don't scare me." Jean Pang sat on the ground, panting heavily. "We have no enmity between us in the past and in the past. I beg you to forgive me whenever possible." Lin Gu turned off the recording on his phone. "I don't have the time to record your nonsense. Fatty, look carefully. My phone only has 1 bar of battery left. If I don't hear you spit out that you have swindled Madam Yu of the U Corporation, I guarantee that you will end up worse than this ashtray if I throw you downstairs." The ashtray on the coffee table was clean and transparent. Lin Gu held it in his hand and suddenly exerted force, shattering the thick and hard glass onto the floor. In order to make Fatty Jean understand the situation and stop talking nonsense, Lin Gu crushed another piece of glass into powder. Looking at the scary guy in front of him, Fatty Jean knew that he had met a powerful person. He was done for today. Shi Tianyu had just arrived and transferred 20 million yuan to his card. He had asked him to get lost forever, leave Beijing and Huaxia, and never show his face again. Now that he had been caught red-handed, the 20 million yuan was not enough to keep it warm. Then he would not be able to keep it. Compared to money, Fatty Jean clearly knew that his life was more important. As long as he was alive, there was no need to worry about firewood. It was better to live a bad life than to die a good death. This was a principle that even idiots who lived in places where the sunlight of socialism could not reach, such as scavengers and beggars, understood. "Brother, I will tell you everything, I will tell you everything." Fatty Jean was terrified. Lin Gu turned on the recording on his phone again. Fatty Jean slowly opened his mouth with a bitter expression. "Brother, you can see that I was ordered by someone. I was forced. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the guts to do that." "Who ordered you? Who forced you? Tell me clearly," Lin Gu reminded him. Fatty Jean nodded. "It was Shi Tianyu. Shi Tianyu ordered me to do this. He was the one who planned all the scams. How would a pig like me know what energy recovery is? He was the one who wrote the information and asked me to memorize it to deceive Madame Yu." After a pause, Fatty Jean continued, "If I did not do it, he said that I would not be able to make a living in Beijing. I have an 80-year-old mother and a crying child. Stall for time as much as you can. My phone's low battery notification light has already lit up." Lin Gu sneered. Fatty Jin's face changed. "Brother, I want to earn money to support the family. But Shi Tianyu said that I would not be able to make a living in Beijing. I had no choice but to agree. He said that I looked honest and didn't look like a scammer. Also, my figure had the style of a boss. So, he insisted that I do it." "What benefits did he give you?" Lin Gu said, "Think carefully. This recording cannot be changed." 20 million. Fatty Jean said bitterly, "It was given to me a few minutes ago. I didn't touch it at all. You can chase the money back. I will cooperate with you. You are a great person and forgive me. Can you spare my dog life? Let me go." Lin Gu smiled faintly. "With your words, your dog life can be considered saved. However, I can't let you go. You are the witness who can prove that Shi Tianyu was the mastermind behind the scam. Don't even think about escaping." "Brother, you can't do this. You have to let me go." Fatty Jin's face fell. "You really can't do this. Shi Tianyu is too powerful. If he knew that I said this to you today, he would definitely find someone to kill me. Just take pity on me. Don't drag me down." Suddenly, there was a sound of footsteps outside the door, followed by messy knocks on the door. Fatty Jin's eyes rolled, and he quickly rushed to the door. This person, once forced, would easily break through his limit. That fat body could actually run at such a speed. It really shocked Lin Gu. However, as soon as Fatty Jean opened the door, before he could even shout for help, a few young men pressed down on his mouth and head and beat him back. The young men were still cursing and swearing. Lin Gu glanced at them. These young men were none other than Fu Tian and his gang. Without needing them to explain, Lin Gu could guess that it must be Brother Yun who called him to help him deal with the aftermath. "Brother Pigeon." Fu Tian chuckled. "Brother Yun called me and asked me to come here to help you deal with the fatty. If you need anything after this, just tell me. I'll arrange it." Lin Gu smiled. He already had the recording evidence. After he controlled the witness, he just needed to find the evidence. "Thank you. In a while, help me find a place to detain this person. What you're doing is illegal detention." Fatty Jean said in horror. "So what if I'm illegally detaining you?" Fu Tian raised his hand and slapped Fatty Jin's head. "What are you looking at? You're not convinced? If you're not convinced, then try it with your Grandpa Tian. Let's see if your Grandpa Tian can cripple you." Fatty Jean suddenly recognized Fu Tian. His face was filled with fear. "Aya, it's young Master Tian." I didn't recognize Mount Tai and didn't recognize young Master Tian. Young Master Tian, do you know me? I saw you when you sang at the Eastern Grand Assembly. I even gave you a bottle of wine. Give your sister a bottle. Fu Tian didn't buy it. He raised his hand and slapped Fatty Jean again. Don't try to claim kinship with me. Today, you're my grandson. If you offend my brother Yun, Grandpa will still beat you up. Fatty Jean felt bitter in his heart. It turned out that a loser would never be able to climb up to a tall, rich, and handsome man. Even if he had contributed, he wouldn't remember it in his heart. Then he would use his story to warn those who like to be lackeys. It was useless to treat a tall, rich, and handsome man like a father. He might not even like you. Mr. Jean, tell me. Shi Tianyu gave you the information. Give it to me. Today, we're even. If you don't find it for me, I don't need to do anything. I'm afraid my brothers won't let you have a good time. Jean Pang fearfully looked at the group and said, Brothers, give your brother a way out. I'll give you anything you want, but you can't let me go. You have to let me go. If Shi Tianyu finds out that I betrayed him, I'll definitely die. Jean Pang said. Brother Pigeon, could it be that Shi Tianyu has something to do with Auntie you being cheated? Fu Tian had also heard about Yu Jiaqian's difficulties and the fact that the Yu Corporation was about to change hands. He didn't expect that there was such a big mystery behind this matter. Lin Gu waved his phone and said, The evidence is all here. This fatty is the one who used some bullshit T energy recovery system to scam Auntie Yu. Damn, why didn't you say so earlier, brother? Fu Tian spat. Brothers, you all know that Auntie Yu has always treated me well. Yu Jiaqian and I have been classmates for a few years. Furthermore, the relationship between Sister Qian and Brother Yun is also. Ahem, I won't say anything else. Brothers, do as you see fit. Kill him. The few of them suddenly swarmed forward. Fatty Jean, who had originally suffered a little in front of Lin Gu, was now in a terrible state. His nose was bruised and his face was swollen. His face was already swollen, and it looked as if 2 extra eggs had been stuffed into his cheeks. Fatty Jean wanted to cry. Why was he so unlucky? He shouldn't have done such a heinous thing. If he did, he wouldn't have a good karma. However, this karma came too quickly. Brother Pigeon, tell Brother Yun that I'll bring this fatty to the dog cage. I'll hand him over whenever he wants him. Fu Tian said, if he doesn't want him anymore, I'll keep him as a dog for the rest of his life. Lin Gu laughed coldly. Unless he stands up and exposes Shi Tianyu as a witness. Otherwise, you can keep him for the rest of his life. It's okay, there's no burden. Whatever my dogs eat, I'll feed him. He'll have meat for every meal. He won't starve to death. Fu Tian said smugly, however, there are requirements for him to eat well. Even if he doesn't know how to wag his tail, he still needs to know how to lick his shoes. Fatty Jean wanted to cry but had no tears. Brothers, I'll listen to everything you say. Is this okay? If you had said this earlier, you wouldn't have had to suffer like this. Lin Gu said and spread his hands. Give me the scam information that Shi Tianyu gave you. Fatty Jean didn't dare to refuse anything now. Chapter 1481. On the other side, Su Yun and Yu Qianjiao followed Shi Tianyu's car all the way to his house. Shi Tianyu instructed the chauffeur in the car. The chauffeur nodded his head and got out of the car to open the door for him. Shi Tianyu got out of the car, straightened his clothes, and headed home. The chauffeur sped off. Everyone in the Yu Corporation knows that this fellow has a nickname, Colorless Unhappiness. I didn't expect him to come home today and not spend the night with his mistress. Yu Qianjiao was rather surprised. He had been to Shi Tianyu's house before and knew that this was his official house, where his legal wife lived. Shi Tianyu's unhappiness couldn't be blamed on him. His wife weighed more than 250 kilograms and had a rosacea nose that left an unforgettable impression. It was no wonder that Shi Tianyu didn't want to go home. However, he had no choice. His legal wife was his legal wife. Furthermore, Shi Tianyu did not dare to offend her. He was only where he was today because of the support from his wife's family. Otherwise, he would not have the status he had now. Shi Tianyu was a man who flew out of a mountain village. His parents were old farmers who lived in the ravines, and he was the same. However, he was ambitious. Ever since he was 18 years old and met a few backpackers who were considered trendy in that era, his heart had flown out of the mountains and yearned for a better life in the big city. At the age of 18, he had heard from a few backpackers about karaoke, cabarets, and all sorts of other things that were popular in that era. It was said that a dog would not despise a poor family, and a son would not despise his mother for being ugly. However, Shi Tianyu didn't think so. He was quite disgusted with his impoverished family. He hated this kind of life. He hated working in the mountains every day and not being able to earn enough to fill his stomach. On the night before the backpackers were about to leave in their old jeep, he secretly curled up in the trunk of the car and hid among the backpackers' luggage. Just like that, Shi Tianyu left his hometown forever. Furthermore, he had not returned even once after he left. He had long forgotten about his old father who faced the yellow soil with his back facing the sky. He had also long forgotten about his mother who had painstakingly raised him into an adult. They should have left this world long ago, but Shi Tianyu didn't even have the thought of sending them off. Because in the year he left, he treated himself as a new person. He changed his name from Shi Goyao to Shi Tianyu, which meant that he was a person blessed by the heavens, and this name was also quite Western back then. After following the backpackers' car all the way to Yanjing, Shi Tianyu took advantage of the night to sweep away all the valuables in their luggage and slipped away with the money and the items. After selling those things and adding the money he stole, Shi Tianyu, whose net worth was over 1,000, could be said to be a very rich person in that era. At that time, the whole family was living on 200 yuan a month, and they could eat meat for every meal. However, Shi Tianyu didn't have the concept of money. He was afraid of starving in the mountain village, so it took him less than a week to spend all the money he had. In order to make a living, he was coincidentally recruited by a big hotel to be a waiter. As a waiter, he could get 5 yuan for opening a bottle of wine for those rich people. But later, Shi Tianyu learned that 5 yuan was a fart. Even if he had 1,000 yuan in his pocket at that time, it was also a fart. Rich people ordered a bottle of wine for more than that price. That table of dishes was filled with Australian lobsters, American crabs, European ham, and African delicacies. Relying on the days of being a waiter, Shi Tianyu accumulated another 1,000 yuan of his own. He didn't spend this money indiscriminately, because he had seen many rich people and heard many stories, so he had a lot of thoughts. He learned to make up stories. He relied on fabricating a story that his father was an Arctic explorer and his mother was an Arctic scientist to raise his status. Later on, he got to know his wife, a young lady who looked like a meatball. To be honest, Shi Tianyu didn't like her, but her family was rich and powerful, so she could give him what he didn't have. His wife also admired him for being the child of an explorer and a scientist. Shi Tianyu made up a story that his parents had died in the iceberg crash and he had become an orphan. His parents had spent their entire lives doing research and did not leave him anything, which was why he came to Beijing to drift around. His wife gave up at that time and wanted to marry no one else but him. Shi Tianyu's father-in-law and mother-in-law didn't have a choice. Although they didn't like this person who had nothing, their daughter's looks weren't something they could find a good family with. Just like that, Shi Tianyu married his wife, and his father-in-law gave him 100,000 yuan to start his business. He was lucky enough to meet President Yu at that time, and under President Yu's lead, he invested in the Yu Corporation. Then, the 100,000 yuan in his hand became 200,000 yuan a year later, and 1 million yuan 5 years later. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed, and the initial 100,000 yuan had become a 100 million yuan asset. However, all of this was given by his wife's family, so Shi Tianyu couldn't lift his head in front of his wife's family. The most important reason was that the Yu Corporation wasn't his, so he didn't have the backbone. If the Yu Corporation was his, he would definitely be able to hold his head high. Today, he returned home to tell his wife that he, Shi Tianyu, would hold his head high and be a man in the future. He wouldn't lower his head in front of her family anymore. He would look for women openly in the future. Who would dare to do anything to him? He was already in the top position. In the future, he would be the #1 big shot in Beijing. Who wouldn't dare to give him face? Not even the King of Heaven. Pour the tea. Shi Tianyu sat on the sofa and said coldly, "Pour the tea." After being married for so many years, his wife had already heard about his real identity, so she didn't care about his bad habits at all. "Pour it yourself if you want to drink it. You're crazy." "Humph, I've been married for so many years, but you haven't poured me a single cup of tea. Your father hasn't been nice to me either." Shi Tianyu said indifferently, "But let me tell you, everything will be different from tomorrow onwards. After tomorrow, I'll be the biggest shareholder of the U Corporation. I'll hold 55% of the U Corporation's shares." His wife was a little confused when she heard this. This news came too suddenly, because Shi Tianyu had never communicated with her about this. "Really?" The tigress's brandy nose twitched. "Are you drunk? Are you daydreaming again? It doesn't matter if you believe me or not." Shi Tianyu said, "I'm just informing you that from tomorrow onwards, no one should give me a hard time. I'm no longer working for others, and I'll be doing my own business in the future. Ask your parents to show me some respect. Otherwise, don't blame me for being heartless." The tigress was a little surprised and subconsciously poured a cup of tea for him. "Tianyu, is that true? You'll be in the top position one day. President, you just died not long ago. How did you do it? What methods did you use?" "That's not something you should know about." Shi Tianyu said proudly, "I remember telling you on the night of our wedding that I'll be able to straighten my back one day. I don't blame you for not being able to give birth to a child. Your family doesn't allow me to find another woman to give birth to a child, and I'll bear with it. However, I must have my own son in the future." Knock, knock, knock. The knocking on the door interrupted the tigress, who was about to fly into a rage. Shi Tianyu's wife glared at him fiercely and shouted impatiently, "Who is it?" "President Shi, something big has happened." Yu Tianjiao said in a strange tone, "Hurry and open the door." Shi Tianyu frowned. He knew that it was unrealistic to ask his wife to open the door, so he got up and walked to the door himself. He was a little dumbfounded when he opened the door. Yu Tianjiao appeared in front of him as if he had descended from the sky and pushed him into the room. Su Yun followed closely behind and closed the door. "Tianjiao? Why are you here?" Shi Tianyu looked at Yu Tianjiao in surprise. Yu Tianjiao glared at Shi Tianyu unhappily. "Surnamed Shi. Don't F***king act all high and mighty in front of me. You know best what kind of thing you are. How many years have you been eyeing my family? Huh? You got it today, didn't you? Huh?" Chapter 1482. Shi Tianyu did not intend to be courteous when he saw how arrogant this young man was. Coincidentally, his wife did not believe that he could take over the U Corporation. Now, he could prove it. Even the future successor of the U Corporation had come to his house to make a fuss. What else could be more convincing than this to prove the existence of this matter? "Tianjiao, you can't implicate me in this matter." Shi Tianyu said, "I didn't want to do this. The reason why the U Corporation is in this state is because your mother was too gullible. She has to take responsibility for her mistakes." "Don't say such high-sounding words." Yu Tianjiao said, "My father has always treated you well. Now that my family is in trouble, so what if you take the lead and help us? Why did you force my sister to give you the shares? Do you know that this is called adding insult to injury? My father has raised an ingrate all these years." Shi Tianyu glared at him and said, "Tianjiao, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. I won't bicker with you because of your father's face. You should pay more attention to your words and actions. Otherwise, I'll chase you out." Yu Tianjiao was used to being arrogant since he was young and did not care about this. "Oh, are you afraid? Shi Tianyu, are you feeling guilty and want to chase me out?" You dare to do it but don't dare to admit it? Why wouldn't I dare to admit it? Go home and ask your sister if she was the one who personally signed the document to give the U Corporation shares to the other shareholders. We will think of a way to get the money to invest. Shi Tianyu said, Young man, it's hard to earn money. I can't take out 1 billion yuan for no reason. Do you think that money falls from the sky? I want to take a loan, sell my bonds, throw away my funds, and give up on managing my finances. I have to waste a lot of energy and assets to be able to take out this money. Yu Qianjiao felt that he was in the wrong. This matter was not easy to clear up. If I don't get the shares, why should I help the Yu family? Yu Qianjiao asked. Your father cared a lot about me back then. That's why I put all my money on the U Corporation. Otherwise, I would have taken the lead and withdrawn my shares. The U Corporation would have closed down immediately. Your sister begged me to take back the shares. I'm not the one begging you. Shi Tianyu's self-righteous appearance really did seem to be the case. His words left Yu Qianjiao speechless and speechless. Surnamed Shi. Yu Qianjiao was at a loss for words. He could only turn his gaze to Su Yun. Su Yun smiled faintly. He had already received Lin Ji's message. Lin Gu had told him everything he knew. Su Yun had a trump card in his hand, so he naturally had a card up his sleeve. Shi Tianyu, who was the person you met in the hotel room? Faced with this strange yet familiar young man's question, Shi Tianyu was stunned. He really didn't know how to answer. Who are you? You should answer my question first, Su Yun said indifferently. At this point, Shi Tianyu's wife finally couldn't take it anymore. She was indeed shocked by the fact that Shi Tianyu would take over the U Corporation. Now that she heard that Shi Tianyu had met someone in the hotel room, the first thing that came to her mind was that Shi Tianyu had said that he wanted to have a child with her. What else could he have done in the hotel room other than doing those shameful things? Shi Tianyu, you damned old bastard. You've just straightened your back and you're already fooling around with another woman. Shi Tianyu's wife was really valiant. She wanted to hit Shi Tianyu. Shi Tianyu angrily rebuked. Enough. Don't King go on and on. Don't embarrass me. Get out of the room. Shi Tianyu's wife felt her heart sink to the bottom when she saw that her husband, who had always been submissive in front of her, had suddenly become so fierce. Aya, you're wrong. Your man didn't just straighten his back and start fooling around with another woman. Yu Qianjiao was adding fuel to the fire. He wasn't afraid that the matter would blow up, but he was afraid that it wouldn't blow up. He's been fooling around with other women, and it's not just one of them. Even I, who don't go to the company often, know that his nickname is Colorless Unhappiness. At least half of the 20 over female demons in the company's public relations department have an affair with him. If you continue to spout nonsense, I'll sue you for slander. Even though Shi Tianyu had straightened his back, he didn't want to be in the wrong in front of his wife. I went to the hotel to meet a client just now. It's a man. Yu Qianjiao wasn't afraid of blowing up the matter. Who knows if you have fresh sex photos on your phone? Give me your phone. Shi Tianyu's wife suddenly shouted angrily. Aleph King say it again. Don't butt in on men's affairs. Get out of my way. Shi Tianyu was really frustrated by Yu Qianjiao. His wife was beside him and there was no end to it. Furthermore, that familiar-looking young man didn't say much, but his words hit the nail on the head. Shi Tianyu was afraid. This was a huge fraud. If he was caught red-handed, his life would be completely over. Shi Tianyu, what's your relationship with that fatty? Su Yun said lightly. You said you went to meet a friend, or a man. Then I'm not wrong, right? What? What fatty? Shi Tianyu's face became even more nervous. He would never admit it. He would rather admit that he went to fool around with women than admit that he met with the fatty. This was related to his life. Shi Tianyu was anxious and incoherent. Okay, I admit it. I went to fool around with women, but so what? I'm a normal man. You stand in my position and think about it. With such a woman at home, wouldn't you go outside to have an affair? You say you won't because you don't have the charm and ability. Okay, Shi Tianyu, you shameless old man. Shi Tianyu's wife was anxious. I want to divorce you. Shi Tianyu wasn't an idiot. The money he used to start his business was given by his wife's family. Years ago, under the coercion of his father-in-law, he signed a contract. He agreed to take his father-in-law's money and in the future, 80% of his net worth would belong to his wife. If they divorced, then even if he got Sky Entertainment, he would have nothing. Don't make trouble. I'll explain it to you later. Shi Tianyu's heart was in a mess. What the hell was going on? He had just gotten such a good thing, and now the world was in chaos. Phew. Shi Tianyu took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He told himself over and over again that when the heavens gave a great responsibility to a great man, it would first make his will suffer, his muscles and bones tired, his body starved, his body was empty, and his actions were disrupted. Therefore, he had to endure and do what he couldn't. I'm warning you. I just went to meet a client. If you want to slander me and ruin my family's relationship, I'll sue you. I'll call the police now. Shi Tianyu believed that the police could solve the problem. At most, he would have to fork out some money. Su Yun laughed coldly. You dare to call the police, but I'm afraid that Fatty doesn't want to see the police, right? Shi Tianyu, fraud is a serious crime. Do you know the law? I believe that with your status, even if you don't know the law, you should know a thing or two. Shi Tianyu's forehead was sweating. For fraud, if the amount involved is especially huge or if there are other especially serious circumstances, the punishment is not less than 10 years of imprisonment or life imprisonment. In addition, the punishment is a fine or confiscation of property. Su Yun continued, I'm not talented, but I know a thing or two about the law. More than 500,000 is considered especially serious, and the punishment is at least 10 years. You're implicating the U Corporation. I'm not sure how much money you have, but I'm sure that once you're convicted, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. You're spouting nonsense. Shi Tianyu's Adam's apple bobbed as he swallowed his saliva. Su Yun smiled and said, It's not too late to attend the banquet now. Shi Tianyu, you're also a veteran of the U Corporation. No matter how big your mistake is, we can forgive you. Give us the document that Yu Jiaqian signed for you, and we won't pursue this matter. Chapter 1483. Shi Tianyu's eyes widened when he heard this. This was something that he had painstakingly obtained. How could anyone take it back just because they wanted it? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. This was a document that would affect his status for the rest of his life. This document would mean that the U Corporation would be under the Shi name from now on. If you guys are crazy, then go to the mental hospital. I'm not crazy. Shi Tianyu said, the police are very particular about evidence when arresting a thief. Don't spout nonsense if you don't have any evidence. As for that document, don't even dream of getting it. That is the most important piece of evidence that I own the U Corporation. You and I both know it. Shi Tianyu had been in Yanjing for so many years, so he was well aware of the principle that money makes the world go round. There were indeed many things in this world that money couldn't buy, such as family, love, or health. However, most things could be settled with money. As long as he was willing to fork out the money, scams were nothing and no evidence could be established. Why should Shi Tianyu compromise? He would never compromise. Tomorrow, he would bring the document to a lawyer and officially invest in the U Corporation. Then, as the president of the U Corporation, would he care about the money from connections? Are you going to give it to me or not? Yu Tianjiao was furious. He kicked the shoe cabinet in front of him and said, Old man, if it weren't for my dad, I would have beaten you up long ago. I will count to 3 and you will take out the document signed by my sister. Otherwise, I won't hold back any more. It's useless even if you count to 10. Shi Tianyu wasn't afraid of the threat of a kid who hadn't even grown up. He was a child from the mountains. Other than working with brute force, The only things he did before he was 18 years old were fighting with his friends. You are still too inexperienced to touch me. Although there wasn't much skill involved, Shi Tianyo's body had been trained since he was young. Even though he had been drinking and socializing every night for so many years, he still didn't have a fatty liver. I will touch you today. Yu Tianjiao was like a newborn calf that wasn't afraid of a tiger. He raised his fist without a second word. However, his weak and frail body was no match for Shi Tianyu. Shi Tianyu might be old, but he dodged Yu Tianjiao's fist and kneed him in the stomach. The insufferably arrogant Yu Tianjiao clutched his stomach and squatted on the ground. It hurts. His thin and brittle abdominal muscles couldn't withstand such a knee strike. It wasn't until now that Yu Tianjiao realized how useless he was. He didn't even have the ability to resist. What was the point of fighting? Yu Tianjiao endured the pain in his stomach and stood up. He made up his mind that after settling this matter, he would continue to rub his body with coarse salt. In the movie, it was said that this martial arts master's ancient training method was to use coarse salt to grind his body until it was red and bloody every day. Only then could his body become rough and durable. He could take a beating. Shi Tianyu looked at this piece of trash with disdain. Are you still coming or not? Just now, I only used 30% of my strength on account of your father's face. Bang! Before Shi Tianyu could finish his words, he felt as if his chest had been hit by a huge rock. His whole body didn't feel good. He flew out horizontally. The force of the explosion seemed to have dislocated all his internal organs. What a powerful force! Su Yun's punch came without warning. He didn't expect Yu Tianjiao to be his fighter. The document may be in his small bag. Go and find it yourself. Okay. Yu Tianjiao was completely subdued by Su Yun's domineering punch. It was too ruthless. This punch was like a cannonball that could stun people. Don't touch my bag. Shi Tianyo's face changed dramatically. This document must not be taken away. It was signed by Yu Jiaqian herself. There was no backup. If it was destroyed, Yu Jiaqian would deny it tomorrow and everything would be in vain. Su Yun silently stood in front of Shi Tianyu. Your opponent is me. If you want to fight, come at me. You're the most flexible boss I've ever seen. If you have some skills, why don't you use them? Get out of my way. The anxious Shi Tianyu flew into a rage. He grabbed Su Yun's shoulders with both hands and wanted to throw Su Yun out by wrestling him. But Su Yun took a horse stance. With a firm foundation, he locked Shi Tianyo's arms and hooked his feet. Shi Tianyo's whole body was thrown out by Su Yun. With a crash, Shi Tianyo's back landed on the ground. Even if his body was hard, he was still a man in his 40s or 50s. After being thrown, he couldn't stand up at all. In times of crisis, his wife was close to him. Even if Shi Tianyo's wife was full of disgust for her man, she still didn't hold back and rushed to the small bag. Put that bag down. 200 to 300 pounds of weight flew over. Yu Tianjiao's whole body sank into the shadow. When he saw the huge body rushing over, he was shocked. He grabbed the bag and turned around to avoid it. Being knocked down by Shi Tianyu wouldn't die, but if he was pressed down by his wife, he might really die. Shi Tianyo's wife's huge body landed on the sofa. The sturdy sofa let out a cracking sound, and all four legs suddenly broke at the same time. The backbone of the sofa also broke in the middle with a crash. The huge sofa was completely destroyed by Shi Tianyo's wife. Yu Tianjiao's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Luckily, he had run quickly. Otherwise, wouldn't all the bones in his body have been broken? His spine wasn't as strong as the backbone of the sofa. Give me the document. Shi Tianyo's wife was really a shrew. She got up and continued to chase after him with no intention of giving up. Yu Tianjiao quickly found the document in his bag. After seeing his sister's signature, Yu Tianjiao's face lit up. Brother, I found it. Give it back to me. Although Shi Tianyo's wife was fat, she was agile enough to grab the document in Yu Tianjiao's hand. Yu Tianjiao was shocked. He had just found the document that concerned the fate of the U Corporation. How could he let it be snatched away? Of course, Shi Tianyu's wife wouldn't give up. It wasn't because she loved Shi Tianyu, but because she realized how big a sum of money this document was. If Shi Tianyu got the U Corporation and she divorced him, how many shares of the U Corporation would she get if he committed a crime? She wasn't good at math and didn't know how to calculate. However, she knew that this was definitely a sum of money that would allow her to find any gigolo and remarry him. Rip. The document was torn just like that, and the two of them split it in half. Destroy the signature. At the same time that Su Yun spoke to Yu Tianjiao, Shi Tianyu also shouted at his wife, "Protect the signature." Luckily, Yu Tianjiao was quick to react. He tore off his sister's signature and stuffed it into his mouth without hesitation. As long as he ate it, he wouldn't be able to find it even if his stomach was cut open. This matter was over just like that. Shi Tianyu almost collapsed onto the ground. However, his wife suddenly seemed to be possessed by a scion and hollered, "I'll fight it out with you. Spit it out right now." A huge black shadow once again pressed down on Yu Tianjiao's head. If it pressed down on him, he would probably spit out his intestines, let alone the note that he had just swallowed. Yu Tianjiao held his breath and prepared himself for this heavy blow. He could only pray that he wouldn't be killed by this woman's but in a second. Cloud Hand. At the crucial moment, it was Su Yun who stepped forward bravely. With a move of Cloud Hands, Shi Tianyu's wife's 200 to 300 pounds of fat flew out just like that, directly landing on the already destroyed sofa. It's over. Everything is over. Shi Tianyu looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Was this really just a dream? Shi Tianyu, you can't escape the fact that you committed fraud, Su Yun said indifferently. I have witnesses and material evidence. You just have to prepare for the court summons. Oh yes, don't waste your time looking for that fatty. He has already been taken away by my men. You won't be able to kill him, nor will you be able to find him. Shi Tianyu looked at the familiar stranger in front of him blankly and laughed bitterly in his heart. Each new generation excels the previous one. The opportunity that he had been waiting for his entire life had been completely destroyed just like that. God, you've really opened your eyes. Chapter 1484. Shi Tianyu felt as if he had had a very, very long dream. In the dream, he had gotten everything he wanted, but before he could enjoy it, he was doused with a bucket of cold water from head to toe. His entire body was cold from head to toe, and he instantly woke up. Everything was gone. Everything was over. He was still the person who had nothing. He was still the person who had nothing. After everything was over, he would fall into hell. Even if he had everything now, he would no longer be able to keep it. Tianjiao, when you were so young, you liked to pester me to buy you toy guns and remote-controlled cars. Do you still remember? Shi Tianyu's whole body was cold. He was afraid. This fear made his legs go soft. The speed of his fall from heaven to hell was too fast. He couldn't bear it. He gestured to Yu Tianjiao's height when he was a child. He hoped that the kid in front of him would give him a way out on account of their old friendship and not sue him for fraud. He knew very well what the serious consequences would be if he was charged with such a crime. This was not only related to more than 500,000 yuan, but it was also an extremely important reason. Businessmen paid attention to integrity. If he was convicted of fraud, even if the law didn't sentence him to life imprisonment, he would never be able to make a name for himself once he finished his sentence and returned to society with the label of a swindler. I remember. Yu Tianjiao didn't forget their old friendship. But you also listen to me. The past is the past. If you want me to remember the past, you shouldn't be so ruthless. Yu Tianjiao wasn't a fool. He already knew in his heart that Shi Tianyu was the mastermind behind his mother's fraud. He already gave him a lot of face by not beating him with a big stick. I know I was wrong, Tianjiao. Uncle really knows he was wrong. Uncle was just obsessed for a moment. Uncle won't dare to do it again. Shi Tianyu said, I beg you, give me a way out. Don't force me to die, okay? Don't say it so harshly. I didn't force you to die. You forced yourself to die. Why are you dragging me into this? Does it have anything to do with me? Yu Tianjiao wasn't so soft-hearted. I'll give you a way out for the sake of our old friendship. Tell me. Right now, Shi Tianyu was willing to let go of all his heirs. As long as he was given a chance to start over, he was willing to let go of anything. Su Yun was a little puzzled as to what this brat Yu Tianjiao could point out. However, he didn't expect that this brat's dog mouth would really spit out ivory. He actually said something that made Su Yun's jaw drop. You can go to the police station yourself. We won't bother you anymore. Yu Tianjiao said, if you turn yourself in, you might be able to get a lighter punishment. Of course, the premise is that you have to return all the money. When the time comes, we won't hold you accountable. My mother and sister are kind-hearted. You know that. When Shi Tianyu heard this, he knew that he had to go to the police station. He definitely wouldn't agree. No, I can't go. If I go, I won't be able to make a comeback. Yu Tianjiao said impatiently, I think it's too troublesome to call the police. That's why I'm giving you this opportunity. You don't want it, right? Okay, then you can just wait to be caught. As soon as you go out, I'll make a call. Anyway, the guy who looks like Fatty Jean has been caught by my brother Yun's people. As long as you dare to escape, you won't be able to get out in this life. Shi Tianyu didn't want to escape, but he didn't want to be caught either. Tianjiao, let's just pretend that nothing happened, okay? I'll kowtow to you. I beg you to give me a way out. If you take the initiative to admit your mistake, the law will give you a way out. Su Yun said faintly, but if you are stubborn, then I'm afraid it won't be easy. I don't mind the trouble. If you don't call to turn yourself in, I'll take you now and hand you over to the Public Security Bureau. Maybe I can even make a contribution and get a Good Citizen Award for bravery. You're ruthless. Shi Tianyu gritted his teeth and looked at Su Yun. Who are you? Su Yun raised his eyebrows. It doesn't make sense for you to know. If you have to ask, then I have nothing to hide. I've been helping people all my life. Those who have been helped by me all call me Lei Feng. Shi Tianyu lowered his head with all his might. The glory of his life, in the end, was all in the hands of this living pervert. Fraud is a felony. Shi Tianyu's wife also came back to her senses. No, you can't take him away. If he really can't get out in this life, then what should I do? He's my man. If you want money, I'll give you money. I'll give you however much you want. Is this okay? Don't catch him. It was said that husband and wife were birds in the same forest, but when disaster struck, they flew away separately. However, although Shi Tianyu and his wife didn't have a union of love, after being together for so many years, they had feelings and familial affection. Now that she saw that Shi Tianyu was really in big trouble, she really couldn't abandon him alone. Wife, with your words, I'm satisfied. After committing a grave mistake, Shi Tianyu suddenly realized that there was still true love in this world, and it was right beside him. I'll surrender myself. Su Yun said, if you have a better sense of self-awareness, you won't have to spend the rest of your life in jail. Perform well in there. Oh, he really admitted defeat. When Yu Tianjiao suddenly heard this, he really suspected that there was something wrong with his ears. I can admit defeat. Shi Tianyu said, I'll return all the money that I scammed. However, the problem that the Yu Corporation is facing now can't be solved with just this amount of money. We still need to inject capital, or else we won't be able to hold on. Ever since President Yu passed away, many conflicts in the Yu Corporation have intensified. Actually, it might not be a bad thing for me to stand up. Yu Tianjiao didn't know much about the company's matters, but he could feel that although his sister was capable, she didn't have the aura to lead the company. To put it bluntly, if she couldn't convince the masses, it would be meaningless no matter how capable she was. In the past, Yu Jiaqian's arrangements in the company had been smooth sailing because her father was backing her up. Now, although she had been doing her best to arrange everything in the company, the people under her weren't doing their best. Therefore, the U Corporation was becoming more and more unstable. It was difficult for external forces to destroy a large corporation that had been formed, but internal strife could easily cause it to collapse. The U Corporation was currently in a period of internal strife. If there wasn't someone capable enough to take charge of everything, the U Corporation would still be in danger. I did this to let the other shareholders of the U Corporation see my capability and let them know that I'm not to be trifled with. They have to listen to me in the future. This way, the U Corporation can regain its footing. Shi Tianyu wasn't lying. I can pay the price for my mistake, but let me remind you that it's not as easy as you think if you want to keep the U Corporation. This amount of money is far from enough. You need more. Su Yun said plainly, you don't have to worry about this. Shi Tianyu, for you to say something like this, President you must have treated you well when he was alive. I won't make things difficult for you today, but don't blame me if you don't turn yourself in by noon tomorrow. Don't forget, I have witnesses and evidence in my hands. I have also recorded our conversation just now. You're on your own now. Shi Tianyu laughed bitterly and shook his head. He didn't say anything else. Forget it, forget it. He didn't want to say anything else. Brother Yun, do you really believe him? Are you going to leave just like that? Yu Qianjiao was a little worried. Let him be. Su Yun said, if he turns himself in, he still has a chance to be released. If he runs away, he can forget about seeing the light of day again. Don't forget what I do. Your father was harmed by the American Secret Service agents, but I still caught them. What about him? Shi Tianyu was suddenly enlightened. No wonder he looked so familiar. So this was the legendary powerful kid. Yu Tianjiao saw Su Yun's confident gaze and nodded seriously. There was no criminal in this world that couldn't be caught. As long as he wanted to catch him, he would definitely be able to bring him to justice. Chapter 1485. Yu Tianjiao followed Su Yun out of Shi Tianyu's house, but he still looked back worriedly. Brother Yun, do we really trust him? If he escapes in the middle of the night, there's still a chance for him to escape. If he's smart, he can just fly to the southern border and go to those poor countries where birds don't even shit. He can just find a criminal gang leader and give him some money, and those poor bastards will work for him until they die. If he has the guts, then let him go. Su Yun continued, as long as he dares to run, I dare to chase after him. Ever since I was born, I have never failed to catch up to anyone I want to chase. If Shi Tianyu is confident in his 2 short legs, then let him escape. Yu Tianjiao admired this confidence and aura from the bottom of his heart. It was no wonder that his older sister and mother kept saying good things about Su Yun ever since he returned to the country. Even Yu Tianjiao, who had never been convinced by anyone since he was young, was convinced by Su Yun after just one day of interaction. Don't worry, he won't escape, Su Yun said casually. People who can be as scheming and tolerant as him are all shrewd. He can clearly consider the price and success rate of his escape. The price is that he will never have the chance to make a comeback, and the success rate is so pitiful that it's not even 1%. If it were me, I would know when to yield and when to stand tall. I would admit to this and fight for a lenient sentence. Who knows, I might even have a chance to make a comeback after being locked up for 8 to 10 years. Yu Qianjiao was stunned. He still has the idea of making a comeback and taking revenge on us? Him. Brother Yun, since you can see through it, then we should just arrest him and send him to the police. Why should we give him a chance to surrender? If he doesn't surrender, then he won't have the chance to get a lenient sentence, right? Give him a chance. Everyone must have hope in life. If there's not even a little bit of hope, then it's better to die. Su Yun continued, after all, he has contributed to the U Corporation. Take it that you are doing him an old favor. You can't be too heartless. If there was no hope in life, then it was better to die. Everyone had hope in life. Hope could be a career, a lover, a child, or just being alive. But there was always hope. Even a homeless person with tattered clothes on the streets would have hope. Hope that he could pick up some fresh food from the trash can. Although it sounded sad and ridiculous, it was really a form of hope. This kind of hope could allow a person to live on and continue to wander and live. He would not die of the streets. Su Yun did not want to make things so complicated. This way, he would not have to worry about it and would accumulate good karma. Shi Tianyu would hate the Yu family for the rest of his life. Brother Yun, what if this guy really performs well and is released in a few years? If he takes revenge on us, will you teach him a lesson? Yu Qianjiao was trying to rope Su Yun in so that he would not interfere with his family's affairs in the future. Su Yun replied, if he really performs well and is released in advance, then it means that he has a high level of self-awareness. He will definitely understand that the Yu family is doing him a favor today. If he is enlightened and repents, why not give him a chance to turn over a new leaf? He is familiar with everything in the Yu Corporation. When the time comes, you can extend an olive branch to him and he will be loyal to you for the rest of his life. The power of repaying evil with good is very strong. Yu Qianjiao nodded his head in confusion. It sounded quite reasonable. Repaying evil with good. Although he did not really understand this phrase, he could feel the profound meaning behind it. After Su Yun got into the car, he contacted Lin Gu and confirmed his current location. Then, he asked Yu Qianjiao to go home first while he went to meet up with Lin Gu. It was not that Yu Qianjiao did not want to work with Su Yun, but what he wanted to do now was to immediately inform his mother and sister of this good news. Shi Tianyu had been executed. To them, this was the best news since their father's death. Su Yun arrived at a remote car repair shop where Lin Gu and the rest were. Fu Tian and the rest were there as well. Even though the environment of the car repair shop was not very good, the people who repaired cars were definitely more professional than those car repair shops that had better renovations. The owner of the car repair shop was also a young man. He took a deep puff of his cigarette. When he saw that Fu Tian and the rest were respectfully addressing Brother Yun, he also politely greeted, Brother Yun. After a pause, he introduced himself. Just call me Yang. Su Yun saw that the counterfeit Jin Pang Pang was locked up in a van that was almost completely dismantled. He smiled at the young man in front of him and said, Thank you, brother. You're welcome. We're all on the same side. Yang took out the Zong Non Hai from his pocket and handed it to Su Yun. Su Yun was not polite. He took it and lit it. It was not that he was addicted to smoking, but he wanted to give face. Seeing that Su Yun lit the cigarette, Yang said, Brother Yun, my pigeon brother said that you were with Yu Qianjiao. Why didn't you bring him with you? You know each other? Su Yun was startled. He went home first. Fu Tian explained, it's more than just knowing each other. Yu Qianjiao and Yang are iron magnets. Brother, now you can understand why Yu Qianjiao's Wrangler is so awesome. Lin Gu also smiled. It's not just his credit. There's also a technical guide. Don't say that. I did help him a little, but his concept and theory of car modification and bold ideas are definitely far beyond mine. Yang said, I'm puzzled. Didn't he study medicine abroad? Why is he competing with car parts? Yang said and looked at the oil stains on his collar and cuffs. Repairing and modifying cars is really not suitable for a young master like him. You're his iron magnet. Su Yun smiled faintly. People's interests have no identity. Even if he's a rich young master and you're poor, between brothers, if he does something wrong, such as connecting the wrong oil pipe and wiring, you can still use a big wrench to cut him. Yang was stunned for a moment, then he raised his head and laughed. Yes, although that kid's theory was strong, his practice was weak. When he modified his Wrangler, once he made a mistake, he would use a wrench to scold him. For them, this was what brothers were like. Between brothers, some respected and admired each other, and some fought and scolded each other. People who respected each other said that those who scolded each other were not brothers, because they did not respect each other. And those who fought and scolded each other said that those who respected each other were not brothers, because brothers did not need so many restrictions. Su Yun said that they were all brothers. As long as their hearts were united and they worked together, they were brothers. There was no distinction between those who respected each other and those who scolded each other. It was just that their personalities were different. At this time, the knockoff Fatty Jean could not help but knock on the window of the sealed van. Ah Young stepped forward and opened the window. What's wrong? Do you want to poop or pee again? Your stomach is so big, can't you hold in your poop and pee? No, I just want to ask that brother. Brother. I'm here. Fatty Jean shouted and waved at Su Yun. Seeing Su Yun turn around, Fatty Jean looked at him with great expectation. When are we going to report Shi Tianyu? I want to leave here. I really can't stay here. No need to report. Shi Tianyu will turn himself in tomorrow. At that time, you can do as you see fit. Su Yun said indifferently, no matter what, you are still an accomplice. The punishment and responsibility that you should bear cannot be avoided. When the time comes, take the initiative and try not to be so harsh. Do you understand? Fatty Jean was paralyzed. What was to come could never be avoided. Sigh, it was a sin. For 20 million, he wanted to change his identity as a poor man, but he did not expect to go for wool and come home shorn. He became a swindler and had to pay a painful price to make up for his mistakes. Chapter 1486. If there's nothing else, I'll leave this fatty to you. Su Yun, watch him turn himself in at the police station tomorrow. It's best if he and his master can be sentenced together. Maybe they can take care of each other if they're assigned to the same cell. He's so white and fat. If he doesn't have someone to protect him, he'll be crying in 3 days. With Shi Tianyu's body, although he couldn't dominate the prison, no one would be willing to provoke him if he showed his skills. Therefore, if Fatty Jean could follow Shi Tianyu, he would be able to suffer less. After all, it was Shi Tianyu who had caused him to fall to this point. Shi Tianyu wanted him to protect him as compensation. Hearing that his chrysanthemum was ruined, Fatty Jin's face was full of fear. Now, not only was his reputation lost, even his body couldn't be saved. He brought this upon himself. Big brother, I betrayed Boss Shi. Do you think he'll let me off easily? He definitely won't, right? Fatty Jean was really self-aware. You guys are magnanimous. Just let me go like a fart. I'll even kneel down and kowtow to you. Don't worry. Shi Tianyu isn't stupid. If you guys really have the chance to be in the same cell, he'll definitely be happy to have a follower like you. If you have nothing to do, help him fetch water, wash his feet, rub his shoulders, and knock his back. He won't treat you badly. Just treat it as losing weight. Su Yun looked at the fat on Fatty Jin's body. You're so young. Don't leave behind a body full of diseases. Fatty liver is not an easy disease to treat. Fatty Jean, reform well and strive to become a person of significance to the country. Big brother. Fatty Jean still didn't give up. He was really afraid of this. It's useless to call me big brother. Lin Gu glared at the fatty impatiently. If you knew this would happen, why did you do it in the first place? Now that you know regret, why did you do it earlier? Su Yun didn't waste any more words with them. He thanked Ah Yang and Fu Tian again and quickly left with Lin Gu. With these little brats watching over Fatty Jean, it would definitely be enough for him to suffer. Today, when she saw Fu Tian again, he was no longer the sloppy boy from before. He was dressed more maturely, in a suit and leather shoes. He believed that this kid was no longer as willful as before. Tonight, he would treat it as a chance for him to relax. Once again, he would do some outrageous things with his bad friends. Take it as a reward for them to embark on the right path. When Yu Tianjiao returned home, he told his family about this matter. Mother Yu and Yu Jiaqian were first shocked, then happy, then regretful, and then helpless. They were shocked that Shi Tianyu would actually do such a thing. The mastermind behind all of this was actually this person who had been with the Yu Corporation for over 20 years. Mother Yu was happy that the money could be recovered, and the huge stone in her heart had finally been removed. She was regretful that Shi Tianyu would go to jail. Even though he had done such a despicable thing, Yu Jiaqian still felt sorry for him. This was because she knew that Shi Tianyu had helped her father through many difficulties in the past. Of course, she was still helpless about this sum of money. Although the money had been recovered, the Yu Corporation's funding gap had widened during this period of time. If there wasn't enough money to make up for this huge gap, the Yu Corporation would still collapse. Many times, a corporation needed money in order to make money. This was Yu Jiaqian's biggest helplessness now. She still needed money. She had just made a fuss about dealing with the Yu Corporation shares, so it was definitely impossible for her to get funds now. As for bank loans, it was even more impossible. Just when the family was at their wits' end, Su Yun and Lin Ge knocked on the door. There was no need for Yu Jiaqian to open her mouth. Su Yun could tell what she was thinking and what she needed from her face. How much more money does the Yu Corporation need? Su Yun smiled and said, Jiaqian, I heard that you specialize in venture capital. Do you think that it is worth it if I treat the Yu Corporation as a venture capital investment? Yu Jiaqian knew that Su Yun wanted to help her. Su Yun, you have already helped me enough. I really don't have anything to repay you. How can I still let you? Why don't you have anything to repay me? Yu Tianjiao said sarcastically, can't you just repay me with your body? It's not a big deal. Yu Jiaqian turned around and gave Yu Tianjiao a kick, causing him to scurry around. However, she didn't stop talking nonsense and said, Sister, can't you let me speak? If I were a girl, I would definitely repay Brother Yun with my body. Is there a need to consider this? It's a matter of course. Mother, you didn't pay attention to the children's nonsense because she was satisfied with Su Yun. If Yu Tianjiao had joked about his sister being with other men, as his mother, she would have been anxious. Brother Pigeon, don't you think so? Yu Tianjiao asked for help. If you were a girl, what would you do? Lin Ge was about to reply when he was stopped by Su Yun. Su Yun grabbed Yu Tianjiao and pushed him onto the sofa. I am talking to your sister about serious matters. Don't create trouble for me. Su Yun, I will think of another way about the capital injection. Yu Jiaqian said, I thank you on behalf of the entire family for everything that you have done for the Yu Corporation. Su Yun said, there are still uncertainties if you look for someone else to invest. The later this money is absorbed, the less help it will be to the Yu Corporation. Although I don't know how to do business or manage a large corporation, I still understand this logic. These words struck a chord in Yu Jiaqian's heart. No matter who it is, you should give them benefits if you ask them to invest. Su Yun continued, Che, you have the confidence and ability to make up for this loss. That's why you dare to look for someone to invest. Since this is the case, why don't you look for me? Just take it that I am doing a risky investment. You can give me whatever returns you can give others. Isn't this good? Let me take advantage of the Yu Corporation. Although Su Yun said that he was taking advantage of the Yu Corporation, he was actually helping the Yu Corporation in its hour of need and pulling it up at a critical juncture. He only said this to make it easier for Yu Jiaqian to accept. I won't say thank you. Yu Jiaqian understood that no words could express her gratitude. Since you are so determined to invest, I will give you a clear plan for the return of your investment. I will let you see clearly that in a risky investment, you have to understand everything clearly before you invest. This sum of money that Su Yun had invested into the Yu Corporation wasn't actually a risky investment. Yu Jiaqian, on the other hand, had represented the Yu Corporation in using this sum of money to invest in other projects. Yu Jiaqian already had a project in mind, but she did not have the funds to start it. Now that Su Yun had sincerely extended a helping hand to her, she had to tell Su Yun everything so that he would understand and know what to do. Logically speaking, such a secret should not be revealed to others. But now, Su Yun was no longer someone else in Yu Jiaqian's heart. To her, Su Yun was family, one of her own. She was someone she could trust without any reservations. All right, you have the final say, Su Yun said. He was not in the mood to care about these things. What investment plan? What profit plan? Looking at all these rules and regulations gave him a headache. Perhaps they were all like that. They were really not suited to look at accounts and plans. It was too annoying. The two of them went to Yu Jiaqian's room. Mother Yu pursed her lips and smiled. She did not disturb them and went straight to her own room. Only Lin Guo and Yu Tianjiao were left in the living room. Yu Tianjiao watched as his sister's room door closed. He stuck out his tongue and said to Lin Guo, "Look at how reserved my sister was just now. Didn't she invite a wolf into the house? Who are you calling a wolf?" Lin Guo laughed and scolded, "Can a wolf help you in your family?" Yu Tianjiao chuckled and said, "Look at my mouth, I don't know how to describe it. Brother Yun is definitely not a wolf. Brother Yun must be a good person, a very good person. I can't wait for my sister to marry him. Haha, I really think that the two of them are quite compatible. Brother Pigeon, what do you think? Say that to your sister. See if she will punish you." Lin Guo did not want to talk nonsense with him. Chapter 1487. Yu Jiaqian took out a project that she had been looking at recently and told Su Yun about it. This project was definitely not as awesome as the so-called energy recovery that Shi Tianyu and Jin Pang Pang came up with, but it had already surprised Su Yun. This was a project that could make the role of various natural energy sources to the extreme. It was something that many cutting-edge technology developers at home and abroad were eyeing. Once someone could give a reasonable design for this project, it would definitely shock the world. Someone in Europe first proposed a design, but there were still some flaws and it was not perfect. For example, the sun could not be stored for long periods of time. If it rained continuously, it could not be used. Also, the wind energy could not create its own wind power. It would become a waste in a calm environment. These problems were waiting for people to solve. Yu Jiaqian believed that this could definitely be solved. She had always been 100% sure about the intelligence of Huaxia people. People in the world had to admit that the smartest people were Huaxia people. This did not mean that Huaxia people's language was more complicated, nor did it mean that Huaxia people had a longer history and had the 4 great inventions. This was a common phenomenon in the world. For example, people were familiar with the world's top 10 high-tech cities, the Santa Clara Valley in California, the capital of Texas, Helsinki in Finland, Tel Aviv in Israel, Bangalore in India, Cambridge in the United Kingdom. Yes, there was also Zhongguancun in Huaxia. This was a joke. In short, as long as it was a cutting-edge technology city in the world, there must be traces of Huaxia people. This was a problem that the whole world had to admit. The Germans knew how to fight, the Jews knew how to do business, the Japanese knew how to act shamelessly, and the Huaxia people were smart. This was something that the whole world recognized. There was nothing to explain. Yu Jiaqian believed that as long as the cutting-edge technology personnel in Beijing were gathered, they would definitely be able to perfect these flaws. In this way, this project could be performed perfectly. Although this investment had great risks, it also had great significance. Su Yun did not quite understand the principle of this project, but he understood that this kind of energy utilization project was definitely of great significance to mankind. This was really something that was worth doing. No matter who it was, if they had this ability, they should give it a try. Not only for their own personal interests, but also for the progress of the entire human race. I'm quite shocked by this. Su Yun, I'm just an ordinary man. Although I know how to use high-tech things, I really don't know how to make them. But from what you said, as long as we gather Huaxia and other capable people to develop this thing, then we will definitely succeed. Yu Jiaqian nodded vigorously. Of course, there are no difficulties in this world that can stop humans from moving forward. After all, there is a finite amount of energy. Before the earth runs dry, we should make preparations in advance. This project that I am talking about is not only for the sake of saving the Yu Corporation, but also for the sake of future generations. Even if you say it won't work, I'm still willing to invest. Su Yun, tell me, how much is it? I'll pay. Yu Jiaqian was amused by Su Yun's nouveau riche temperament. Then I'll really say it? Su Yun nodded. Go ahead. As long as there's a limit, I can accept it. Yu Jiaqian shrugged her shoulders. The point is that I didn't know. Su Yun was taken aback. What do you mean? Are you saying that there's no budget for this investment? Didn't you say that there's a budget just now? It's obvious that you didn't listen to what I said just now. I did say that there's a budget, but it's just a basic budget. As for the overall budget, I emphasize that it's impossible to estimate. Yu Jiaqian said, the profits that I'm giving you are also your basic profits. The real profits are the profits of all of humanity. This is also impossible to calculate. Su Yun laughed bitterly. These are the profits of all of humanity. This investment is really nothing. If I, Su Yun, use all of my assets in exchange for the profits of all of humanity, then I'll really have the opportunity to become a superhero. I'm speaking the truth. There's still a possibility that your money will go down the drain. Yu Jiaqian said, because there's a huge risk in what I'm doing. It's just that I believe that our intelligence will reduce the risk. I already said that I believe you. Su Yun might not be able to take out a lot of money, but Sky Entertainment Group could still afford a few $100 million. He really had to discuss this matter with Zhua Meiyan and Ruan Qingshuang. After all, he didn't even know how much money Sky Entertainment Group had. After the two finished discussing the project in the room, they began to talk about Shi Tianyu. Then, they talked about the ups and downs of life. In any case, they had endless things to talk about. Lin Gur and Lin Gur watched 2 movies in the living room. Both movies were more than 2 hours long. They watched until Lin Gur was yawning, but Su Yun still didn't come out. What the hell? Are they really going to sleep in there? Lin Gur couldn't make up his mind. After all, they were a handsome man and a beautiful woman. They had been in the same room for 4 or 5 hours. It was already a few hours in the morning. If they didn't leave now, then they would really spend the night here. In fact, they really didn't have a place to spend the night. They came in a hurry. When they arrived, they went to deal with things. They didn't even have time to book a hotel. Brother Pigeon, I've already said it many times. Don't wait. Brother Yun won't come out today. No matter what, my sister is a flower in a radius of 20 miles, right? If she doesn't even have this bit of charm, then she'll be terrible. Yu Qianjiao said. Unless Brother Yun is not a normal man, no one can resist her. Lin Gu was speechless. That's your sister in there. If she really does that, you really don't care about anything? Of course I don't care. It's Brother Yun in there. I know it. Yu Qianjiao said. If it was another man, I would definitely beat him until he couldn't lift his 3rd leg for the rest of his life. But Brother Yun is different. He's worthy of my sister. I definitely can't break them up. That's called wicked. My ancestors will curse me in the underworld. Lin Gu was speechless. What kind of **T logic is this? I really have to give it to this guy. Yu Tianjiao stretched his waist. Brother Pigeon, let's not waste time here. My mom is already asleep. This is a tacit agreement that my sister can deal with her matter however she wants. Let's wash up and sleep. Me and you? Lin Gu glared and pointed at his nose. Brother Pigeon, don't worry. I'm straight, not gay. Yu Tianjiao said, my bed isn't small. The 2 of us can sleep comfortably. Just that I might snore at night. Don't mind. Lin Gu couldn't do anything. He couldn't just sit there, and he couldn't just leave. Forget it. I'll just do as Yu Tianjiao said. I'll make do with his room for the night. I'm already sleepy. The 2 turned off the TV and went to sleep after washing up. No one cared about what would happen to Su Yun and Yu Jiaqian. Finally, Yu Jiaqian couldn't help but yawn. Su Yun realized that it was already very late. Time is running out. You should rest early. I didn't notice. I'm affecting your rest. It's okay. Yu Jiaqian knew that her mother wasn't in good spirits recently, so she slept early. She definitely wouldn't wait for them. What they didn't expect was that when Yu Jiaqian and Su Yun went to the living room, they found that even Yu Qianjiao and Lin Gu had gone to sleep. Moreover, Yu Qianjiao and Lin Ji's snoring was louder than the other. They could hear it clearly outside. Aya, why did this kid fall asleep in someone else's room? Su Yun was exasperated, but he couldn't shout now. Forget it. Don't disturb them. They are really sleepy. Yu Jiaqian suddenly pulled Su Yun. Or, you can also make do with my house tonight. It's so late. You don't have a place to rest if you go out, right? Chapter 1488. To be honest, Su Yun did not have a place to spend the night. He came in a hurry and did not book a hotel. It would be dawn by the time he found a place to stay at this hour. Yu Jiaqian's neighborhood did not have a hotel nearby. This was also the reason why she suggested that Su Yun stay at home. How can I do that? Su Yun waved his hand and said, that would be too much trouble for you. Lin Gu, that rascal. He might be really tired. I'm sorry. Su Yun, don't say such things. Yu Jiaqian said, if you think that you are troubling me with such a small matter, then wouldn't I be troubling you even more if I needed your help with such a big matter? This is just a small matter. Compared to what you have done for the Yu Corporation, it is insignificant. Su Yun only smiled faintly. He did not say what he was thinking. The reason why he helped Yu Jiaqian and the Yu Corporation without any hesitation was because he felt guilty toward them. Everything that had happened to the Yu Corporation was because of President Yu. If he had controlled those secret agents earlier, there would not have been so many problems now. This was what Su Yun wanted to say. This was also the reason why Su Yun did not hold back when it came to the Yu Corporation. I will sleep on the sofa then. Su Yun said, since you have said so, I will not stand on ceremony. You are a guest. How can I let you sleep on the sofa? You can go to my room. Yu Jiaqian was quite sincere when she said this. Su Yun smiled awkwardly. I don't think that's a good idea. After all, there are differences between men and women. We shouldn't be so close. If I go to your room and sleep in the same bed as you, even if nothing happens, people will misunderstand. After all, Yu Jiaqian didn't live alone. If she was alone, Su Yun wouldn't have so many concerns. As long as he was a gentleman with a clear conscience, he wouldn't feel guilty even if they shared a bed. Heaven and earth would know. However, this was not the case now. Yu Jiaqian's mother and brother were here. Even if the heavens and earth knew that he, Su Yun, was a gentleman, he would not use this opportunity to take advantage of someone's perilous state. But what would her family think? This was something that Su Yun had to consider. You are thinking too much. Yu Jiaqian's face instantly turned red. She hurriedly explained, I want you to sleep on my bed in my room. I will sleep on the sofa in the living room. I did not say that. I will sleep on the same bed with you. That would be embarrassing. Su Yun was really embarrassed this time. He thought too much. No. I definitely can't sleep in a girl's boudoir. I am used to having thick skin. Sleeping on the sofa is no problem. Yu Jiaqian saw that she could not persuade Su Yun. She thought about it and knocked on her brother's door directly. Yu Qianjiao and Lin Ji's snoring was just faked. When the two heard the movement outside, they both held back their laughter. When he heard the knock on the door, Yu Qianjiao pretended to be sleepy and opened the door. Who is it? It's so late and there is still something. Don't pretend. How could Yu Jiaqian not know her brother? He was in good spirits. He spent 2 consecutive nights in the nightclub, and he could still go out to play on the 3rd day. Staying up late for a while was not a problem for him. Yu Qianjiao rubbed his eyes. Who's pretending? I am really sleepy. There are guests at home. Are you not embarrassed to sleep? Yu Jiaqian said, let Su Yun sleep in your room. Tonight, you sleep on the sofa. What? Yu Qianjiao was startled. Aya, my dear sister, how could you think of such a trick? You just invited him to sleep in your room. How could he, Su Yun, be a calm and collected Lu Xiaohui. How could he refuse? Come out. Yu Jiaqian did not say anything and directly dragged Yu Qianjiao out of the door. Then she said to Su Yun, I can only wrong you. Su Yun saw a way out and of course, he wanted to go down immediately. I don't feel wronged. Brother Qianjiao, you feel wronged. It is quite wronged. Yu Qianjiao pursed his lips and said, Brother Yun, my bed is not comfortable. It is not as comfortable as my sister's bed. Why don't you go to my sister's room? My bed is hard. I like to sleep on hard beds. Su Yun smiled and closed the door. Good night. Yu Qianjiao was bitterly dragged to the sofa by Yu Jiaqian. You will sleep here tonight. Don't disturb others with your snoring. If you can't control your mouth, then don't sleep. Watch TV all night. I know you are in good spirits. Sister, can you bear to see your brother wronged on the sofa all night? Yu Qianjiao still did not give up. Anyway, it will happen sooner or later. What is there to be embarrassed about letting Brother Yun into your room? Yu Jiaqian narrowed her eyes. Yu Qianjiao, do you really want me to sew your mouth shut? Will it kill you to not speak? No. No. Yu Qianjiao's head shook like a rattle drum. I am not wronged. Sleeping on the sofa is good. Yu Jiaqian was satisfied. She went back to the room and found a quilt for him. Then, she closed the door and went to sleep. Wrapped in the quilt, Yu Qianjiao curled up on the sofa. He yawned and fell asleep in a few minutes. He was also tired. Since last night, he had made a round trip from Beijing to Qingdao. Previously, he was excited and had some things on his mind, so he could hold on for a while. However, now that everything was fine, he could not hold on any longer. When Su Yun entered Yu Qianjiao's room, he saw that Lin Ge was still pretending to be asleep on the bed. He went up and lifted the quilt. You were watching a movie outside just now. Why didn't you think of booking a room at the hotel outside? Lin Ge looked at Su Yun innocently. Brother, we were in too much of a hurry when we came here. My wallet and everything else was left in Feng Ya's car. I don't have a single cent on me. I can't just ask her for it. That would be so embarrassing. Su Yun was speechless. He lay down on the bed and said, Sleep. Yu Jiaqian did not sleep for the entire night. She felt an inexplicable sense of excitement when she thought about how the Yu Corporation had a chance to stand up again and how everything would become better. This excitement had accumulated in her heart and she had nowhere to vent it. As a result, she could only toss and turn on the bed, unable to fall asleep. After a quiet night, Yu Jiaqian crawled out of bed before the sun had even risen the next day. She meticulously prepared breakfast before taking a shower. Even though she did not sleep well, she still wanted to head to the office in a good state of mind. She wanted to let all the employees of the Yu Corporation know that she, Yu Jiaqian, had not collapsed. Yu Tianjiao, who was lying on the sofa, was woken up by the fragrant breakfast. When he opened his eyes, he heard the sound of movement in the bathroom and immediately understood what was going on. At this point, Su Yun and Lin Ge walked out of the room. When they saw the breakfast that had been prepared, they looked at Yu Tianjiao in astonishment. However, they quickly realized that this was definitely not prepared by him. There's no one in the bathroom, right? I'll go wash my face. Su Yun stretched lazily. Yu Tianjiao rolled his eyes and immediately nodded his head. No one. Brother Yun, you go first. I'll go too. Lin Ge followed closely behind Su Yun. When Yu Tianjiao saw this, he flipped over and fell to the ground with a thud. He hugged his ankle and wailed, Oh no, oh no. My leg is broken. Brother Pigeon, quickly come and help me up. Thank you so much. Lin Ge glanced at him and said with disdain, Look at how delicate you are. You're not manly at all. Although he said this, he still went forward to help Yu Tianjiao up. When Yu Tianjiao grabbed Lin Ge's wrist, he started to wink at him. Lin Ge had no idea what he was trying to do. It wasn't until a few seconds later that they heard Yu Jiaqian scream in the bathroom that Lin Ge suddenly realized that this Yu Tianjiao was really a master who cheated his sister. I didn't know you were inside. Sorry. I didn't see anything, Su-yun said as he left the bathroom. He turned back and glared at Yu Tianjiao. Yu Tianjiao spread his hands innocently. I really didn't know my sister was inside. Why is she taking a bath so early in the morning? Su-yun pointed at Yu Tianjiao speechlessly. This guy didn't even know how to lie. Since he didn't know his sister was inside, how did he know she was taking a bath? Chapter 1489. Even Mother Yu was alarmed. She walked out of the room slowly and saw that the young people were there. She also saw that her daughter had made breakfast. She asked lovingly, "What's wrong? What happened? Was it Jia Qian who shouted just now?" Yu Tianjiao nodded. "It's okay, Mom. It's my sister. She probably slipped in the bathroom and was scared. It's okay. Don't worry." Slipped? What if she fell? Why didn't you ask? Mother Yu realized that she had said something wrong. They were all boys. How could they go in and see what was going on? She quickened her pace and walked forward. Worried about her daughter, she said, "I'll go and see." "It's okay, Mom." Yu Jiaqian had already put on her clothes and walked out of the bathroom as fast as she could. What happened just now made her blush and her heart beat fast. Now, even if she didn't look up at Su-yun, her face would feel hot. This house was not as big as the bathroom in the villa she used to live in. The bathroom was just a corner of the bathroom that was partitioned off by a glass shower. Therefore, the moment Su-yun pushed the door open, she saw everything. She had just wiped her body clean, and it was as if she could see everything at a glance. Because it was still early and everyone went to bed so late last night, Yu Jiaqian didn't expect them to get up at this time. So, she didn't lock the bathroom door. She didn't expect that this carelessness would cause eternal hatred. How could she face Su-yun again? "It's good that you're okay. Mother Yu said, you guys should also quickly go wash up. Jiaqian has already made breakfast. Eat it while it's hot. Breakfast is very important to you young people. Quickly go and eat." Yu Jiaqian quickly returned to the room. It took her a while to calm down. Yu Tianjiao, this little bastard, he better not let her have the chance to teach him a lesson. If she had the chance, she would definitely teach him a lesson. The three of them ran into the bathroom to wash up and save time. "Brother, you really didn't see anything just now?" Lin Gu sighed. Fortunately, Yu Tianjiao was sensible and knew to stop him. "I really didn't see anything," Su-yun said in a low voice. These two brats were really speechless. Yu Tianjiao shook his head vigorously. "I don't believe that you didn't see it. If you didn't see my sister, how could you shout so loudly? Brother, you have to take responsibility for this. My sister is as pure as ice and as pure as jade. You can't just look at her like nothing happened." "Bullshit." Su-yun glared at him. What was in this little rascal's head? Nothing good could come out of a dog's mouth. "Brother, I promise you with my integrity that my sister is absolutely pure. She has never been in a relationship since she was young. She has never even held hands with a boy." Yu Tianjiao said, "Brother, you know my temper. I think my sister is too outstanding. Ordinary men are not worthy of her. If anyone dares to chase after my sister, I will beat them up." Su-yun picked up a piece of soap from the sink box and stuffed it in Yu Tianjiao's mouth. "If you don't shut up, I'll make you eat it." Yu Tianjiao spat out the soap and rinsed his mouth, but he was still stubborn. "Brother, I'm doing this for the sake of my sister's happiness. Even if you want me to pick up the soap, I have to express my feelings." "Go away. Aren't you afraid that your sister will sew your mouth shut?" Su-yun really had to hand it to this kid. "All right, hurry up and eat. Today, your sister will definitely go to the company to announce something. You should also buck up and follow behind her. Give her some support and make her look good. Don't let the people in the company think that you are a burden." Yu Tianjiao's arrogance rose again. "Who dares? Don't you know who invited Brother Yun back? If he dares to say that I am a burden, I will beat him to death with a stick. If you have the ability, don't use violence. Use virtue to win people over. Learn from your sister. Su Yun lectured him. Yu Qianjiao had his own views on this matter. Brother, that is because you have not come into contact with those old parasites in the Yu Corporation. Back then, my father had won people over with his virtue. Furthermore, he was very loyal and righteous. When the Yu Corporation was still a shadow, those who had worked hard with him had all benefited from the establishment of the Yu Corporation. Even if it was just 1 or 2% of the shares, my father had given them all for free. When Su Yun heard this, he felt that it was necessary to understand the past. After all, he really did not know that a portion of the shares in the hands of the small shareholders were actually given by President Yu for free. Brother, let me put it this way. Back then, 80% of the startup funds of the Yu Corporation were provided by my father, 10% by Shi Tianyu, and 5% by my mother's family. The other 20 over shareholders collectively pooled together 5% of the shares, but my father only took 55% of the shares. He gave 15% to Shi Tianyu, and the remaining 30% was divided among the 20 over people. Yu Qianjiao had heard about this from his mother. At that time, he had not yet been born. My mother said that according to the contribution, a few people received 2% of the shares, while the rest received 1%. After the few of them finished washing up, Yu Qianjiao continued, "Indeed, 1% was not much back then. However, given the current status of the Yu Corporation, what does 1% mean? It means that he can establish himself in Yanjing City, eat at the best restaurants, and live in the best houses in the best locations. Even though one could not be considered an outstanding wealthy person in Yanjing City, one could definitely do whatever they wanted with 1% of the Yu Corporation shares. In the entire country, one would definitely be envied by more than 1 billion people. One should repay a drop of kindness with a gushing spring. This was a simple principle of life. These people had received a favor from President Yu, but he did not expect that they would hit him when he was down and bite his daughter instead. Su Yun had to admit that the power of money was immense and could easily change a person's nature. What was a rich person? People without money would think that rich people could eat and drink whatever they wanted. They could drive whatever car they wanted. They could live in whatever house they wanted. They could live in whatever house they wanted. However, when a poor person could do all of these, they would feel that they were still poor. Why? Because when he had the money to eat and buy whatever he wanted, he must have come into contact with people of a higher level. The people at a higher level were the real rich people because they could make others eat whatever they wanted them to eat and drink whatever they wanted them to drink. If a bottle of red wine that cost 20 to 30,000 yuan was placed in front of you, the other party would sign a contract and let you earn money as long as you finished the bottle. This is what a rich man looks like. This was what it meant to be willful. Just like the young man who had received a parcel of money and saw the note that said, "Don't ask me who I am. You can be willful if you have money." He rejected the note without hesitation and returned it. This was what it meant to see money. Of course, he could not accept it. If he accepted it, it would make it seem like he was not willful. Those small shareholders were the parasites that had been fattened up by President Yu's kindness. Back when the Yu Corporation had just started, they had indeed put in a lot of effort. However, after they had become rich, they began to slack off and scheme against each other for their small profits. Even Yu Jiaqian could see this, let alone President Yu, who had passed away. However, President Yu was soft-hearted and remembered their good deeds. Furthermore, he had always been kind to them and did not use any coercive methods. Just like that, the better he treated these people, the more they did not know what was good for them. They stayed in the Yu Corporation every day with nothing to do, eating, drinking, playing, and enjoying life. When they suddenly had the opportunity to double their lives, they did not hesitate to take another bite out of the Yu Corporation. If Yu Jiaqian really gave the Yu Corporation to these parasites, it was only a matter of time before the company went bankrupt. Because of this, Yu Qianjiao was not interested in persuading people with virtue. He felt that it was meaningless to use virtue to deal with these parasites. To deal with them, he had to use an iron fist policy. He had to use money to crush them and shut them up. He had to use money to tell them that they had to do something if they wanted to stay. If they did not do anything, they had to get lost. They had to get lost as far as they could. Yu Tianjiao wanted to use his actions to tell these parasites that they would not die if they did not seek death. They should not treat the Yu Corporation as a nursing home. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.